All right, welcome to the G2 podcast, episode 5. We got two of our execs with us. We've got Aaron, who is our tech, and Trevor, who is our media manager. So we're going to, of course, start off as usual with our chicken hot sauce challenge, where we will take some chicken wings and we'll start from the right. And they're not in any really particular order, but this side will kill us regardless.
Unlucky.
So, yeah. So let's go ahead and grab our chicken.
Okay.
And we've also got Clayton over here, who's a prospect. He's just sitting off there wondering how things are going.
Eternal prospect.
Eternal.
Yeah, all right. I'll send you eternal.
We love you, just not that much.
Maybe when he shaves that mustache, we'll think about it.
We'll let him on camera once he shoves the pedo mustache.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead and grab some chicken.
I mean, shit, you got some scissors. I'll shave it right now.
You want some chicken?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You sure? Because it's really good.
I got Waffle House before I came.
At least take one. You're gonna love
Here.
it.
Just don't knock the
Get
camera,
my fingers
please.
on it for you.
Is that chair comfortable?
Yeah, it's like the casting couch. This is
Well, he's the one sitting in it, so I don't know how to take that.
a good one, maybe.
All right, so what we got there? Chipotle?
Chipotle. Chipotle?
Chipotle.
However you say it.
That has annoyed me every podcast I've watched. You said Chipotle, and I'm like, I want to kill myself.
I do it intentionally.
It doesn't surprise me.
But
It's better than people intentionally calling it Chipotle.
All right, we got this Chipotle level 1 hot sauce.
Oh, goodness. It's good stuff, though. I like it.
Yeah, the lower tier stuff is, not that
Tolerable,
bad.
tastes good.
That's where it starts-
Let's see here. So, our first topic, pretty standard, is your history with G2 and how you got your call sign.
Oh my goodness, my history.
And
Well, let me
I
take
know it
my
says the
bite.
history. With yours, is it not your 2 histories with G2? Considering
Quitter.
you quit?
Quitter. Where are all those sandbags?
Swallow my chicken.
Yeah, we'll start with Aaron, though, on that question, and we'll go over to you, Trevor.
My history with G2, so I don't even remember what year it was at this point.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I want to say it was like 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
I think you came in maybe like a year after I did. Maybe
Well,
a little
Mar was
longer.
on the team has been on the team longer than I have. But either way, it was like Explosive Sunset number 2. Was the first event of Airsoft I ever played. So I guess to kind of back it up, I went to Virginia to visit one of my buddies, and I stopped by the Ballahack Pro Shop that they have over there at Virginia Beach. So I go in there like a dummy. I buy the most expensive airsoft gun that they have on the rack. It was a VFC Avalon, but it was a bronze-colored body, so I thought it was, super cool. I'd never played airsoft before, barely knew really about it. So I go get that gun, I bring it back, and then I'm searching the internet trying to find what events are going on. Myself, not even looking to see if airsoft's even popular in Ohio. So I go and I find the old Airsoft Ohio forums. And I seen that G2 had posted events on that forums in the past. So I started looking onto it, found it on Facebook, seen that there was an event coming up there at Fallen Warrior in Chillicothe. And that was the first event I went to. And to this day, it's probably still one of my favorite events that I've ever been to because, looking back, nostalgia and
It was
what
really
have
good.
you. So after that, I played airsoft still here and there, mostly at I-70 back during that time. And then G2 hosted an event, Nighthawk, there at I-70. So I went to that, talked with Lucas Bobstone, who you had on the podcast, talked with him about, actually joining, see if you guys were adding members. And he told me, yeah, pretty much talk to you. And then some time passed.
Did you have to talk to Sarge during that time?
No, Sarge wasn't actually active really during that time.
Yeah, he was.
He was kind of
in
on
and
his.
out.
Yeah, he was kind of out. Sarge was
Dude.
at that event,
think he was debriefing from the military and stuff at the time.
So then Austin Harden, who was a prospect at the time, somehow I got in contact with him, found out you guys were working at the Battlegrounds field before it opened up, came out to help out, talked to Darren about getting on the team, and became a prospect at that point.
Well, that's where the infamous photo of you playing airsoft in a chair.
Correct, yeah, Battleground. I was on the team at the time, but I decided to pull out my chair
Tactic chair.
and
Yeah, there was a whole
sitting in
thing
my
about
tactic
Chairsoft
chair,
back then.
playing Chairsoft. Of course, that was sometime later. But my first event actually with you guys, and I was a prospect at the time, was there at Brushy Mountain. And we went to that event, played there, and I guess that goes into my call sign, because at that event is where I got my call
Was that
sign.
one of your first events with us?
That was.
Brushy?
That was
my
one of my
God.
first events with you guys was at Brushy. And, of course, me being terrible at throwing hand grenades, apparently, throws a grenade, a
Understatement
smoke
of the year.
grenade at a wall, and then the infamous throwing a frag grenade at our teammates.
Hey, we have video of that. We
We
have
have
video proof
video
of that,
of
so we
that.
probably throw that in.
And so from that point on, I can't remember which of you gave me the call sign blooper.
I think it was me.
I think it was...
Because I was creating like a blooper reel or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, that's his...
Of course, it was my own fault because I posted the video evidence of it later on.
It's because you enjoy.
What's your YouTube channel name?
I think call sign blooper.
Yeah, call sign blooper. Go watch all of his fail videos of him
Yes.
throwing grenades.
Lots of fail videos.
And we have lots of undocumented ones as well.
So that's where I got the my call sign from, and kind of just moved on from that point. Eventually got patched in. I think it was at Black Ops. One of the times we went there is when I got patched in. And we were kind of just riding that out. We were doing stuff there at Battlegrounds, doing all those events, and then I ended up stepping down from the team at the time.
Betray.
I know, and then
Betrayed us all.
I think it was like 8 months later, because I was still coming out to some events.
Yeah. Then Rick and I would just hound him every time. he
Rick
came out.
and you would hound me every time, and even Lambert, and I think Marmar as well would constantly. Well, no, it wasn't Marmar because he was off.
Because every time
to
you'd
no
come out,
deploy.
you would just hang out with us.
Right.
All, like you just be on the team, dummy.
So eventually, through much convincing, not really that much convincing, I ended up joining the second time and then got promoted somehow in the grand scheme of things to executive. I don't even know how that whole process happened.
It's because you've always wanted to excel G2 in airsoft. You wanted to do the teching stuff. You've always wanted to do more than just show up to be a ref. So, and then we always talked. Always talked.
Well, and
You
it
guys
got-
talk too much sometimes.
It got
Yeah.
worse like after I joined the second time because then it's like
Really?
planning and everything. Because when I joined the second time was right after we didn't get the permit for the new field there in Huber. And so I joined back, helped actually clear everything off of that property so it could be sold. I guess my history with G2 two times. The first one more of just a random ref to more involved in the creating of different things.
I mean, even during your first cycle, you were always, trying to help improve.
Yeah, more of a head
Nighthawk and
ref.
everything.
That's where I learned how to not create games. Because I think the first game mode that you let me actually run was terrible there at Battlegrounds. It was horrible.
It's going to happen.
Some would say hot garbage.
It was hot garbage.
Well, I mean, we were all kind of still new to it. We've only ran really Nighthawk and Explosive Sunset at the time, and those were already halfway produced for us when I took over.
Right.
So there's always ideas of stuff that you'd want to do and try out, see if it works because you've not experienced it somewhere else or whatever. So it's like we had a little bit more free reign to do that back then because
Well,
we had a smaller field.
And like when I came into actually doing airsoft, my only experience was with G2 because I didn't really see what other people were doing, but seeing what G2 was doing at the time with the the explosives and all that different stuff was just really enticing.
Yeah.
And the way that we were running the games at the time were really interesting, I think.
Yeah, and we're bringing that all back this
Right.
year.
So it's more than just...
We're going to make games fun again.
Yeah. More than just your random, like, airsoft go and shoot people. Because I got a lot to say about I-70.
I
That
think all of us do.
that definitely applied a lot to that. But,
Yeah, we did what we could when we had that place.
yeah.
And
Well,
I think we
and
did really well.
The only time it was good for me was when G2 was running stuff there. So, because, like, even... It kind of does apply to some of the history with G2. You know, some of us guys would go out there on our off weekends and go play, but we ended up being the ones having to run everything, being the ones having to ref stuff, and I can get into my worst airsoft memory when it comes to that part. So,
Any more to say on your whole thing?
not really. I mean, my history with G2 is pretty much cut and dried. Go from just random ref to
Yeah, now you're
helping out with everything. Perspective, which I think you got a question on there about perspective of everything,
Yeah.
so we can get into that. But definitely perspective on how stuff is run is changed since coming on to G2. And really even my perspective since coming on a second time has changed a lot of stuff, because I was a little bit more immature, I think, when I first joined.
Still
and then
is.
and then now after coming back, because I'm involved in all the tech work now, so you know, managing time and all
tech
that
work
stuff.
has really taken off too. I mean, we're always getting guns and stuff.
It has, and I'm still learning stuff on top of that.
But you do really good work. I think I've only ever had like maybe one complaint, and it was from that guy down south. But we don't know if it was because of us or what.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and it's just trying to balance stuff, learn new things while trying to promote G2 and get it out there that, you know, hey, this is really cool to be involved in. Come play our games. Because people don't realize, like, the amount of quality, the amount of stuff we do in the background that it takes a lot of time and a lot of investment, not just out at the field, but, you know, online. Me and you always talking.
All the time.
I've told some of the other guys, I have to carve out like 2 hours of my day if you call me on the phone.
At least. We gotta set a timer. Just fucking remind us to stop.
I'll get on sometimes. Like, I'll get on like after work, after dinner. It'd be like, I don't know, 7:30, and I'm gonna go to bed. I'll go do a few things, you know, go do a few chores, and then I, you know, go to actually lay down, and they're still talking, and I'm like, it's an hour and a half later. Like,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have high expectations of us at the field, our community, and we don't want to disappoint them, so we will talk for hours. Trying to make sure that we cover... Over-engineering, trying to make sure that we cover every aspect that we can remember, and we don't always succeed.
And for me, that's like a big part of why I want to be on G2, is that aspect of it. Because like a lot of people, you know, still like to play. I still like to play. But I enjoy the...
all I want to do, honestly.
Well, I enjoy making...
Play?
I just want to play. That's all I'm here. I want to play Airsoft, guys.
Well, see, I find enjoyment out of the reffing part of it. I find enjoyment out of creating the game modes, giving people an experience that they will want to come back and enjoy.
Not saying I don't. That's the whole reason I came.
Well, because like for me, you know, I think if anybody can experience just a quarter of the fun that I had at the first Fallen Warrior that I went to, like, it'll be great for everybody. Because I can remember as a new player, never having done Airsoft. I was in milsim groups for video games, like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4.
Arma.
So, like, Arma. So, like, I was a part of, like, that whole group of wanting to do milsim stuff and then doing it in Airsoft. Well, that was just a bonus for me. And so I remember out there at Fallen Warrior holding what was Chow Hall for like half the day. Just up in that building, and that was the most fun I ever had, because I'd never had experience with that, doing that before. So, if, you know, people have that same experience, well, I want to bring that to them.
Yeah, it's going to be... hopefully this Explosive Sunset on March 29th
Mm-hmm.
will be just as good as that. I'm really
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
We're getting a good turnout so far. So
Yeah, we're almost sold out of tickets.
Open up some tickets here soon, hopefully, which would be amazing. So.
Yeah, I think once I can't remember if Gabe still calls his group SRT or not, but if whenever they finish buying tickets and SWAT finishes buying tickets, like they're sold out.
Mhm.
And I think we'll probably open up, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 more.
Per team, yeah.
What are you doing, Kat?
So I guess we want to go into Trevor's history with G2.
Yeah, Trevor, let's swing on over to you, Narco.
So I started playing Airsoft, I was probably like 12. And it was just backyard with friends, little spring guns from Walmart, you know. My first guns I bought for like $20-$30 from a friend. He gave me like, I don't know, 4 of them. And I would just go to, honestly, Gavin's house. Gavin, Limpy, Gimpy, whatever you want to call him. We'd go over there, would play with friends, just hang out in the backyard. Well, my first ever experience playing at a field was at I-70 for Gavin's birthday. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was looking forward to it. I've never been. It was super cool. I've watched all these airsoft videos, watched, you know, Novrich, Silo, all the big YouTubers back in the day. And I went, and it was us and a couple friends, and maybe like 3 other people, and it was pretty lackluster. And I was just like, man, this is not what I expected an airsoft field to be like. And while I was there, I heard about this team that comes out on the weekends that they have like police officers and SWAT and like all these, they do cool events and night games and all this stuff. And I was like, that sounds really cool. I ought to go out sometime. Me at the time not knowing that G2. And I heard of G2 way before I even realized. So first time I went to G2 was at the new field, or the current field at Camp Victory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've never been to Battlegrounds. I never went.
Unfortunately, because that place was amazing.
I've seen so many pictures. Everyone talks about it. I was like, dude, I would have loved that, but never went. First day I went. I looked at pictures yesterday. The first time I went, I think was August, the first weekend of August, the year you guys were at Camp Victory. So you guys have been there for a month, maybe a couple weeks. So I went out with a couple friends, Gavin, who's on the team now, and we just went out and played. And first day I was there, I was like meeting all you guys, saying hi to Angie, Sean. Like I knew Sean, and I just kind of started talking to people. And yeah, so then after I gone a couple times, played, started asking like, hey, you guys need help with anything? Kind of like what Mar did. It's like, hey, you guys want help with that tent? So I just would ask help, like if you guys wanted help with anything.
Yeah.
I'd get there at 9 o'clock when y'all opened, and I kind of hung out for 3 hours before we did anything, or 2 hours before we did anything.
Yeah, 'cause we always had like an hour of like getting stuff set up and
Right.
everything in the morning.
That was
Getting
back-
That
everything
was
ready.
before you had the shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You got the first time I was there was out of the trailer. I got there like 10 minutes maybe after you guys pulled in with the trailer, and
I'm so glad we got that shop now. Because loading and unloading all the time was
even since I've been on the team, like that, yeah.
Well, people don't realize, like, you and Angie would have to set up the trailer the night before.
Oh yeah, we'd prep the trailer here at the house the night before, and then we go out grocery shopping like on a Thursday or something for any food items that we were going to be doing. Then Friday was prep work, and then Saturday, we'd have to drive it out there and whatever.
If you forgot
it was
something,
a lot
you were
of
kind of screwed.
yeah. I mean, it was a lot to get prepped for the weekends. So I'm really, really grateful that we get enough people to come out that we could afford to pay for that building in cash. You know, I mean, like we didn't have to go into debt for nothing. So
Yeah, I mean we're like 95% of the way there to have a turnkey building.
oh yeah,
Pretty soon we got some really cool stuff coming.
yeah.
But yeah, so I just had asked to help, like, hey, you guys want help with anything? And slowly I was just like, hanging around. And I can't remember if it was, I think it was Angie. Angie's like, you wanna, be a ref, like help out on, like just help run some games to give you like a percentage off when you play. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Well, yeah, sure, whatever. So I slowly just started being a ref. And my mom, for Christmas or my birthday, that following year, ended up buying me the Platinum pass.
Yeah.
So I got sweatshirts, I got other cool things here and there, got some percentages off for deals and all that type of stuff.
Yep.
And I kind of just did that. I kind of just helped out and ref stuff. And for the longest time, y'all were like, you gonna join the team? You gonna join the team? I was like, nah, I don't want to. I'm good. I don't need something
You were
else to
basically
do.
doing it.
I was basically doing it. Like, I don't know why I didn't, but it was just like, I don't want to add something else, because I was doing a lot at that time. I still am. But
Yeah.
I was doing other things, and I was like, I don't want to commit to something else I can't really hold up my end of the bargain on.
Yeah.
And it was later that year, so what, 2023, December of 23.
Yeah.
Y'all essentially forced me to join the team. They kind of held me in the corner and kicked me until I said yes.
Similar experience when I came back on the second time.
Seems
That's
like we
weird
need to
how
go
that works.
couples therapy in a
Bullying
couple years.
people into joining.
You want to go to couples therapy in a couple
Yeah.
years. But yeah, so me, Gavin, Phil, and Alex, Vincent, all joined the team all at the same time. We all got patched in. It was more of a surprise. It was like Angie had messaged me on Discord. She's like, "Hey, do you want to be part of the team?" And I was like, "I guess, sure." Like it wasn't something I was seeking out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so like you were kind of doing the work without the benefits.
Yeah.
You know, so we're like, just join the team, and then you can get, free games, 20% off stuff, or whatever. You know, like it makes more sense to be on the team. You're doing the work already.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and now he's sucked in. Can't get.
Yeah.
We won't be able to shake.
400
him off.
sandbags later, I can't leave.
Do you regret not joining sooner?
No, I think it all happened in the right amount of time.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm the type of person that I don't like saying I'll do something and then not showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just feels yucky. I don't know. I don't want to promise something and
Right.
fail.
I mean,
on that.
I think it goes with the adage that a man is only as good as his word.
Mm-hmm.
So I fully believe in that. And by you waiting to like either lighten your load with life or whatever, really helped out, because I mean you come all the time.
Yeah.
And you've committed. You join us on Discord for talks and everything. You're doing our media stuff. It takes you forever to get photos.
I
and
know,
videos
horrible.
out.
It's not like I work like 50 hours a week and getting married and planning a wedding or anything. People complain they don't have the pictures the day after. Specific people in Discord that I'm talking to.
Yeah, they do that every time.
I know.
Like, I saw somebody take photos. Are they up yet? It's like, well, we don't.
Dude, it's maybe 12 hours later. Like,
Yeah, we just don't dump them. We put our little logo on them so people know where they came
I
from.
go through and get
stuff.
rid of all the blurry ones, and specifically the ones that blooper, because no one likes to see his ugly face.
Well, I don't play enough for there to even be pictures. It's like, I can't tell you how many of our customers are like, "You're playing today? What?
You're like, who's this guy playing?
I know. I'm so stoked to be able to go out and play more this year.
Yeah, so you guys will definitely be able to play a lot more this year, which will be. I mean, I will too, because I didn't really play a whole lot last year as much as I wanted. But
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of the shop stuff now, so it's going to lead out a lot more time to play.
I did a lot of that last year. That was shop and media stuff was.
I'm getting a little old and slower, but I'm still going to get out there and
You tactical
slay some
wheelchair.
people. Yeah, I'm just going to tactic crawl everywhere.
But yeah, so I joined the team, and it was within the first month of me being on the team, I was consistently in Discord calls, and they always happened to be later at night. I don't remember exactly what time. Well, I
would say it was probably around like 8 o'clock.
Right, like
well,
our
they
normal,
would
like
go
8:30,
They would go
9:30.
later into the night, like
Yeah, sometimes
10,
you join us at like
11.
11 because you were busy doing stuff,
Yeah.
working or whatever.
So I would join, talk, whatever, and I don't know exactly how many times, but more than I'd.
A couple, definitely a few.
It was
Yeah.
it was at least two.
Maybe a dozen.
I was probably it was at least five.
Yeah, it was about, I'd say 5, yeah.
5 sounds about right. Well, I have a tendency of when I'm tired, I'm just gonna fall asleep. Thanks, Dad. My dad can fall asleep anywhere, so I got that from him for sure. But I woke up next morning. Well, I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning, seeing I was in my office chair still, and Discord was pulled up, and I'm the only one in it. And I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like,
We'd be talking to him, and then like you wouldn't hear him sleeping, so we're just like, Trevor, Trevor, we asked you a question. You like? We're like, oh, he fell asleep again. So we just sit there and make fun of him for a half hour.
Well, there was one time where you could hear him snoring so loud. You're like,
Oh yeah.
oh my!
Yeah.
I think that's the day we gave him Narco as his call sign.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's what I was getting to was I woke up, shut everything off, went to bed, and I wake up the next morning, and I think it was a Saturday, maybe a Sunday, I don't know, and I look at Discord, and the notifications, and I was like, oh. That's my call sign changed to narcolepsy. And I was like, I remember I fell asleep in the Discord call for like the 4th time last night. So so there's a couple messages in the chat that were making fun of me, and that was kind of warranted, but I ended up shortening it to narco. So narcolepsy. So there's the call sign. It's,
you earn your call sign around here.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's
backpack
unless your
over
name
here.
is Seven, then
Well,
you just make your own.
Backpack.
My call sign goes back beyond the start of time, so
Yeah.
I earned that one a long time ago.
Dawn Before Time.
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, it
whatever
predates
that show is.
G2. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I don't think so. I think that's probably about it.
Okay.
Pretty much up to recent history.
Me
I
and
think.
Gavin kind
Wait.
of had the same story.
so-
We did everything together, so.
So, oh yeah, we just recently promoted you to exec because of
Same
all-
thing. I got forced into that too. no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, that one was not. But you've always had a knack for wanting to help out with the media side of stuff and everything. And I think it's really paying off this year.
Knack. I didn't say I was good at it. I just like it.
Yeah, you don't have to be great, as long as something's getting posted and it's not
We'll
distasteful.
grow eventually.
Yeah. It'll happen over time. You'll gain skills over time. I'm not the best at it either.
Yeah, it's really nice having Milo help with that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Exec and training.
Yeah.
Milo, exec in training.
Yeah, but it's really nice to have someone else. I mean, you obviously are doing podcast stuff. Like everyone, it's not one person doing everything, which just kills people.
I don't know. I don't know if the people like know exactly like our breakdown of like our roles, like what it means to be an executive. Did you like know that before you came in?
Before I was an executive or before I was on the team?
Before you were an executive.
Kinda, because
because you can see like the amount of extra effort that goes in from everybody who's an
I
executive.
knew who was an executive due to roles in Discord and also just having conversations in person, and it was just like expectations of being there more often a month, being there, able to run the shop if Darren and Angie aren't there, resolving conflict. Like you're close to the level of owner-ish, where you have responsibility of like helping manage team and like just smooth things out. But I don't think I ever really realized what that actually meant, and like doing it until the last couple months, just helping out with stuff and going through like building Discord calls, running through tax ops, doing this, like media, like there's a lot, and it's not. Nobody ever really knows how much Darren and Angie actually do. Like it gets said a lot, but it gets said a lot, but
Yeah, it's a bit of an effort, that's for sure.
I'd say
It's great though.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hit the next sauce here. This one's not really that hot at all, but
Which
it's
one makes Blooper die? I want to see that one.
that
the one at
down
the
there.
very end.
This one.
I don't think I've not had this one yet. I don't believe.
I really like that. It's just a really good flavor. It's a little bit warm, but
Green sauce.
yeah.
You want to get rid of this for me? It just like tickles your nose hairs.
That don't look very green to me, but I'm also colorblind, so
It is very green.
well, you know.
Yeah, that is like putrid green. I forget he's colorblind half the time.
Right.
I am.
It looks like bad baby poop.
So what happened was,
We'll be playing a game, and he's like, I can't see my red dot.
well, see, God just knew I was going to be too powerful, so he had to nerf me.
He gives his strongest battles, or his strongest warriors his best battles, or whatever the saying is. Oh, that looks appetizing.
Almost got a pretty good flavor to it.
I like that one.
All right, so we'll go over with your best memories of airsoft.
Are we including best and worst in this one?
Oh yeah, best and worst. Yeah, sorry. Your best and worst memories of airsoft, regardless if it's like G2 or events or.
I guess I'll start it with my worst memory, and then we'll go into my best memory. So probably, and I was thinking about this on the way over here today. I don't have, like, per se, a lot of bad memories with airsoft. For the most part, it's been pretty smooth sailing. Obviously, you have the random dramas and stuff that happen, but I'm not like a big conflict person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind dealing with conflict. I mean, my job dictates that I mostly have to deal with that, but probably my worst memory has to deal with I-70. And I do have some good memories out there, but for the most part it's bad. And probably the worst one was me, Marmar, and Lambert were out there on one off weekend. Like I said before, we're over there, and half the time we're having to run the games because there's no dedicated ref or anything out there. And this group of rentals came up, and there was probably a good 30 people out there that day.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. And so, with how small that field is, there's a lot of people, and people weren't calling their hits. People were doing random full autos, and then fights are breaking out, like actual fist fights. So I'm having to intervene and break up fist fights.
And you're there as a player.
And I'm there as a player. I'm not there to actually run anything.
Yeah.
And so the reason I say that's probably my worst memory is here I am, just a random player, wanting to play airsoft, and I'm now having to break up fist fights and having to keep people from hurting each other and breaking the actual law, because I think the cops were actually called that day
Oh wow.
because there were some physical threats made on people's lives and stuff with that. So that was probably one of the last times I ever went to I-70, back before all of G2 was pretty much barred from going. Not from anything of ourselves, but because this landowner doesn't like us. So with looking at that, there's probably some other times where there's like worse memories or things that happen, but it all pretty much surrounds those major issues with violent conflict in airsoft, which I've seen it before with at other fields. We've seen it at other events that we've been to, just like random conflicts with people just being idiots. I mean, we're shooting each other with toy guns in the woods half the time.
No, replicas. You can't say.
Or
you can't say the
toy
the
replicas.
banned word.
Oh my god!
Right now we can't air this.
Just bleep
we
it.
gotta start all over.
Just
Demonetized.
Start over. Welcome to G2.
Just bleep it. Just put like beep.
Yeah.
No,
You know what I
quack.
get.
A tactical quack.
Yeah.
Yeah. But looking at it and looking back in the past, it all surrounds just those times where there was major issues, major conflicts.
See, when I went to I-70, I don't recall there ever being like any physical violence or anything that happened, but I know there was like some blatant cheating because they didn't ever have a ref out there.
Well,
never.
Right. And the worst part of that specific time, they didn't speak English, those rentals. So it was very difficult to
Yeah. Okay. I
converse
think I
with
know
them.
which group you're talking about.
Which we have some people that are like that. They come out to our field and they're perfectly fine. But just whatever it was with this event specifically, where they weren't understanding the rules or whatever, and then somebody got heated, and it just led to physical altercation. And all I hear over the radio is, "There's a fight in the woods." So I'm going over to back up one of our guys, make sure he's safe, make sure he's taken care of. And it just led into this whole thing. So then you had me yelling at everybody on the field to stop fighting and this or that.
Have you ever had Blooper yell at you? It's still, yeah, your ancestors shaking their grave.
Austin Harden told me later on that he'd never heard me yell before, and he was kind of deathly afraid of me at that moment. I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad. But, and then to probably my best memory of airsoft is probably Explosive Sunset number 3. And that was an event that we held, which you can actually see it on the G2 YouTube channel. It's our most viewed video, but you have all the explosives and all the stuff coming around. You had the tower exploding, and just that whole environment that was created there just led to one of the best airsoft games I probably ever played. My brother was there with me. He still talks about it to this day, of running out of the tower as the explosives are going off, but just everything about it led to it being one of my favorite memories of airsoft.
It was a good time that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we only had one issue with one group. They must have missed the part where they weren't allowed to go into the tower or whatever.
Well, players not listening to a briefing or attacks on? What?
Well, I mean, I feel like it was better back in the day,
Well, that makes sense.
but nowadays,
Nowadays it's a lot younger crowd.
they're very visual.
Back then you had a lot more veterans and like little dads bringing sons, which you still have, obviously, but like.
Yeah,
not
well, I
as-
think they more so like to watch a video about what the rules are and stuff rather than reading a
that's true.
text. And not gonna lie, like our tax ops are not like the greatest.
very extensive.
There's a lot of stuff in it, and we are going to revamp those. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to redo and make better. We're going to keep improving stuff as time goes on. But like I think we'll have like an open play tax op, and then our events will just build off that. So it'll be like refer to our open play, and then anything in here supersedes that. So this way the tax ops are a lot smaller, condensed.
I've
and
seen other
stuff.
fields do that, and it's really nice.
Well, and a lot of our tax ops kind of reiterate the same thing in multiple different sections because airsofters can't read, and so we try and get that point across.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hopefully they read for this one coming up in March.
I'm hoping so. We have a lot of people. We're doing a lot of active stuff in the Discord, which adds to some of like my most favorite memories in airsoft is like being a part of that and organizing all of those things because I love being CO. I love dealing with comms. That's one of my favorite parts of airsoft.
Yeah.
Past few times where we've gone out as like the whole team, I've always
Gone to
been
an event or something.
tried to be like the comms guy. We did that at AMS at Muscatawk Training Facility.
Yeah.
And those are things that I've experienced that I want other people to experience because it's really fun.
Yeah, I think comms is a lot of fun because it gives you intel that you can't see yourself. It helps you plan and prep and stuff.
Well, and that's what I came from, as goofy as it sounds, with playing some of those milsim games like Arma, Squad, some of like the old Battlefield milsim groups, based a lot around your comms and how you use them, and that part of it is really appealing to me. So, Trevor.
All right. So worst memory, very similar to bloopers. I-70. As going to back how I started playing, it was my first and only time ever at I-70. First game, we're on the airsoft side. We're not on the paintball side yet. And we go over and we're playing a game, and kind of like you guys had said, there wasn't really a ref. I don't think. I think it was just a more experienced player. Heck, I might have been one of you guys for all I know. But yeah, so went out and we're playing, shooting, and I was deathly afraid. Like I haven't really played in friends' backyards at this point, so I ended up hiding in a corner of one of the bunkers for about 10 minutes, and they had to come look and find me. It was my first experience, and not my. It wasn't the best. It was pretty sucky.
I mean, you can shoot across the field to hit anybody.
Yeah, well, it's my first time there, and I'm probably like 12, so I didn't really know.
Well, you're not given any direction.
No, it was just like, here, just go this way, go kind of stand over that direction. So
Yeah,
I haven't really had any bad memories.
learn
of
as you
airsoft.
go.
Yeah, that's the only not pleasant one, I guess. I don't know. But the favorite memory was only the first event I went to. Really, the only event so far.
Better be joining G2.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
nah.
I'm just kidding.
No, my favorite was when we went to Bristol, Black Ops in Wisconsin this past
Yeah,
year.
that's great.
I love that field. That field's Darren said this, but I want to be them. I want to aspire to be there. They run a smooth ship there.
They got a lot of stuff out there You know, granted, I think they only have like 70 acres.
They
so
use
less
that
than
land
half of us.
well. Like,
Yeah,
use
and
it.
they built up different sections at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's all coming together. And oh man, yeah, they got a really
So
great field.
What Blooper said, they've added some stuff since you've been there last.
Yeah, yeah, they're always adding
Oh,
stuff.
it's great. But favorite memory from there was just playing at the field, but was our team that went. There's 6 of us, I think. 5 of
Yes,
us.
6
total?
of us.
6 of us. We brought enough pyro to that event to kill a small herd of deer. Like, we probably bought, I don't know, $500 to $700 worth of
There was a lot.
of pyro, including tag-ins, EGs, smoke grenades. So we throughout the day we were using them. We're not using them sparingly. Well, we get to the end of the day around 5-6 o'clock when everything's winding down, and we're just throwing them left and right, like onto this one building that's fortified, the bank in the center of town. And we had some kids that were walking by, and we were just handing out grenades to some kids here, some kids there. Like, we were just sharing the wealth. And it was one of those moments that I was like, when I was playing, like, for the first time, like, when I was younger, it was really cool seeing some of the more experienced players, like, bring me along with them and show them, like, and I was like, that could have been the kid's first event that he's ever been to, and, like, I just gave him $50 worth of pyro just to throw at a room full of dudes. So it's like, it's those things that make you want to help run events.
Mind you, at that same event, Trevor goes right past some little kid, probably just a little kid, and just shoots him in the back. It's like, and then we hear over comms, I just shot a kid in the back. Like, okay, cool, Trevor.
Yeah,
Love him, hate him at the same time.
Yeah, so that was after my second favorite memory, which was when we robbed the bank. Only team to rob the bank during the whole event. Successfully robbed the bank. It was a blast. But we ran out with a bunch of money, and
I was so sad I couldn't go there with you guys that day.
we looted that bank.
We had so many bounties on our head at that event.
They killed us so many times after that, because there was like, this team was out for us, the bank put a hit out on us, like.
Well, and everybody knew who we were because we're just cosplaying as Lucas Botkins practically at this point. You got the flannels and jeans, so everybody knew those guys over there.
Running around with our creased hats and our Rain energy drinks.
So irritated I didn't get to go with you guys that day.
But back to the bank, we ran out, and our whole thing was like, okay, we robbed him. Everyone in here is dead. Just don't run. Don't make it look suspicious. First thing Marmar does when he leaves the building is sprint towards the wood line. We're like, what are you doing? So we're all running. And there was, like, a kid kind of following us, so I ended up shooting the kid just so it was, no witnesses. No witnesses. Take care of the smaller of us, and it's fine, so.
Yeah, it sounded like you guys had a real good time there.
We did. It was pretty fun. It's always fun.
We were communicating really good at that event too.
And
like, communication was.
I personally think, like, turf wars and stuff like that. Some of our new events that we're planning and working on.
And
White Rhino can meet that same expectation of what we've experienced.
Yeah, just gotta keep building.
Build,
baby, build.
Yeah, this year we don't.
To build the wall.
This year, like the stuff that we're doing with the shop up top, Angie and I are funding, and then, but everything else with the field, it's going to have fun building those buildings down there. So we can get the Middle Eastern part done, we get a bank built, we can get the other areas fixed up and everything. So there should be a lot of money this year going towards that to make the field
shop
way
is
better.
done. Well, will be done. Is done, whatever, so we don't have to throw money at that anymore.
Yeah. Well, G2's money won't get thrown at it.
Yeah, well,
if anything, our money will until next year or whatever, when we can balance things out better. But we got to definitely get the field going so that it's way more enjoyable for more people.
And new, yeah.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah, next question and next hot sauce.
So the next one will be like, what do you guys think about
jalapeno?
Can you see the color on that one?
I have no idea at this point, man. It's either
if you can't see it, you know it's green or red.
it's a color.
whatever identifies
A colorblind
as.
guy walks into the forest.
Colorblind guy walks.
How does
into
he
a
shoot
pride
anybody?
parade.
Hey, it took me a while to figure out how to identify people in camo.
Yeah.
My first time ever playing airsoft, it's like, I don't see anybody. They're standing right in front of you, dude. What do you mean?
Just against the wall, just.
That's how you discovered you were colorblind?
No, I knew about it a while before.
How did you know you were colorblind?
When I was a kid and I first got glasses, they had to test me to see if I was colorblind. Found out I was colorblind. Mom said that she felt so bad because she knew I always had trouble with my colors but didn't know exactly why.
Child abuse.
Well,
Might have to bleep that so I don't get flagged.
so like, what do you guys think about the state of airsoft, the direction of airsoft as in general, including our field, etc., and the avenue that it's taking over the past?
How honest do you want?
As honest as you want
I
to
think
be.
you guys are a bunch of pansies.
So, I've definitely seen
respectfully.
over the past probably 3 years, really the community has changed a lot, it seems like. Seems like even when we were at Battlegrounds, you had that change coming, but it almost seemed like you had more of the Milsim style people coming out to the field, more of that same environment and aspect of that. And now it's gotten not necessarily more casual, but just what people are wanting to do, what they're wanting to experience has changed. So I blame TikTok. You know, you got that TikTok brain of needing to constantly do something.
TikTok brain, Call of Duty brain, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it.
So I think that aspect of it is kind of worse, in my opinion. But it's something where we are able to change and flexibly attack it in a fashion that hopefully everybody likes. Because you can do some more interesting game modes really with that.
Yeah.
You can add more stuff to it. Whereas when I think of Milsim, I think of just a generic attack and defend. You got multiple points. Large groups of people are communicating over radio, and we're moving on to an objective to take out that objective. Whereas like some of these newer events that we're doing, they have a lot of other aspects to them. Like with our turf wars, you got a whole market system involving the chips and the coins, with stuff with purchasing things. So I think that aspect of airsoft is becoming more popular,
More LARPy.
more accepted, which I'm not against. It's just a drastic change from what we were doing to now.
I mean, I think it's a little bit, in my opinion, I think it is a good and bad thing.
Right.
Because it requires more out of the field.
It does.
But that's what also sets you apart from, a backyard field.
It makes you or breaks you.
I don't think most people want to just play TDM.
Yeah.
I think people want to be involved in stuff. I could be wrong, but it just seems like that's kind of where the player base is going.
I think it's because it can be more rewarding. Like when you're able to go and accomplish tasks and stuff, you can go, man, what an event that was that I had to get from here to there and transport a missile crate or whatever versus, I went out and shot 20 guys today.
Well, it's kind of like when someone asks you how your day went. And you're just like, it was just an average day at work. It was fine. Nothing happened. But if something happens, like something cool you want to tell them about, then you're going to tell them. Like, it's the same thing with airsoft. If you're going to go to the field and just play some TDM, get a few cool moments here and there, have fun. Nothing wrong happened. Nothing crazy happened. It's a good day. But if you go to a field and I gotta take out an armored truck and I carried this objective to this place or whatever, you add that element of something that you can't do just at a normal open play.
Yeah.
If you add that, then people are going to remember that and be like, tell their friends about it. Or, it makes it a lot more enticing. Yeah, it makes it more
Airsoft
enticing.
is definitely evolving into more of a spectacle type of sport. I mean, it's always been that way, but now you see a lot of... Well, Will, for example, up there at Black Ops, he has his helicopter ride type stuff. He had British APC up there at one event that we went to.
Dang cat doing.
So, with that, those are cool attractors, I think, to a field. And if you don't have access to that, well, what can you do to make it interesting and to make it involved for the player?
Yeah.
I'm happy with just, walking out into a field and you have objective over here and you have objective over here, go shoot each other. Mm-hmm. But when you start adding in those other elements, it does make for interesting gameplay, and I think keeps people coming back.
Yeah, because it seems like there's definitely a variety of people. Some that just like to go hang out with their boys, and some people that want to complete missions and stuff. So I think a lot of our stuff kind of provides a balance of both.
We try to provide a balance of both because we get feedback from both sides that say the complete opposite of each other, and it's hard because we do one event and people complain that it's not like this, and then we do the next event and people complain it's not like this, and we're like, well, we just did an event that catered to you.
Yeah.
And you didn't come.
The different events do cater towards different groups of people.
And I think like the aspect of milsim for local fields is kind of going away. I feel like that's not a massive attractor to a lot of people.
It depends on what your definition of milsim is, though, too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, if you're thinking like Milsim West, I think like that's kind of going away a little bit.
So when you say milsim, that's what I think of. Whenever I was younger, I'd watch videos like Milsim West. You'd see Jet Desert Fox go. You'd see Alphons go, which they still do, but like that's what you think of.
And I think it's just difficult for like local fields to adhere to that same level.
Right.
Because, one, they're in a unique AO. Their ticket prices are so much more expensive, so they're able to put a little bit more into the event. And then plus you have the aspect of the cadre with actual service members directing stuff. So their whole thing is based around that environment of pretending to be like you're something that you weren't, or maybe you were at one time. So their aspect is that experience, and as a local field, well, how do you bring that experience to maybe even a younger generation, or maybe some people that they can't go out there and ruck for miles and miles. So you have to confine it. You have to boil it down to what makes this fun.
That's why I like running our Explosive Sunset. It's like a Milsim Light. It's got some militaristic features, some role-playing stuff, like you gotta be the combat engineer and blow some things up. But it's not like over the top where you have to wear full battle rattle and you're rucking for 14 miles and all this other stuff.
I think another big problem with that is most people's diets are Mountain Dew and Gatorade. They don't drink enough water, and then they get out to the field when it's 90, 100 degrees, and
people don't know how to properly hydrate.
People don't hydrate. Drink lots of water the day before.
You can have a diet of just Mountain Dew. Just hydrate before you come to the field, and do an excessive.
That and don't wear 700 pounds of clothing and stuff, and then sit out in the sun.
Be properly hydrated.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I hear people like younger guys that I know, they're your little brothers that talk to me about it. They're like, oh, it's gonna hurt. I'm gonna wear jeans and a sweatshirt and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, it's middle of July.
It's like the people that wear the ghillies when it's like 90 plus degrees, and those are usually the ones
what
heat cat.
He's like, hey, is that all you're wearing under there? Like, take that off.
Well, and I think as well, kind of branching off from this, and I don't know, did you have a question about like current gun or replicas? And
later on.
You do have that later on. Okay, so
stuff.
We'll talk about that later on then.
Okay.
I don't know what he's doing. Why is he doing that?
Your techie stuff. Ooh.
Oh, my special techie stuff.
The pile that he has in the shop.
You mean the pile he has in his car?
That's all my personal stuff.
It used to be way worse.
Yeah, when we went to, he took him a full week to clean his car out when we went to Black Ops.
He had an armory.
It wasn't
in his
a full
car.
week.
Brother, you had the whole week off and you cleaned it the whole week.
No, I didn't clean it the whole week.
Crap.
It was like 2 days.
You called me Monday.
2 days, 48 hours.
nonstop clothes
Yep.
cleaning. Yeah, break
You
it
know,
up into
the
4
fact
days.
that I can fit as much stuff in that clown car as I can is kind of amazing.
Yeah, that is true. You're not wrong. Literally a week after we
Well, it
went,
was a hatchback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the great thing about hatchbacks.
4 people and most of their gear.
Well, as we were at the field, he had 4 people in his car, plus the gear he already had back there, plus our gear.
I can fit a lot of stuff in
We
there.
need to change his call sign to clown car.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. No, denied.
Squeeze your nose and
Denied.
So did you guys have anything to add to good or bad memories?
No. I
What?
thought we were talking
Oh, I'm sorry,
about...
direction of airsoft. I'm sorry.
No, I think kind of covered.
No, I think that's everything. I just think the direction of airsoft is moving away from milsim.
Yeah, I reiterate myself. I feel like you guys are pansies. No, it's
Yeah, I mean they're not built the same.
it's different. Yeah,
The culture is different because like
well, a lot of indoor.
like I say, like a lot of us veterans
Mhm.
from the Gulf Wars and stuff, we're all older. We're all retiring. We're not really looking to relive our
Yeah,
factual lives of when we spent over there.
yeah, probably not great memories.
Yeah, and while it is still great to have like that camaraderie of people like we have with G2, we're not exactly like looking to go out and run around with our plates and stuff unless we're still active in the military. But a lot of us are in our 40s and stuff. I'm talking about the people that were in the
I
military.
know. I just
So like a lot of those people are kind of like getting out. They got kids or have families and stuff. You know,
priority
big-
shift. That's,
Yeah, very much so. So I think that's where we're losing that group.
Well, I mean, it's like anything, in the workforce. Let's say you have somebody who's been at a company for 30 years, and then you have newer people coming in. Well, that one person that's been there for 30 to 50 years, he's retiring out now, so all of his experience is gone. So it's moving to that newer generation. And so that's kind of the period that we're at now is we've seen the groups that started when they were maybe 12 who are now a lot older, and they're now leaving airsoft. So now you're dealing with a younger generation who
Yeah.
has grown up on Call of Duty, a majority, or they're not as invested into the sport in the similar fashion like we are.
Yeah,
Because,
I mean, video games kind of suck these days.
They absolutely
And I
do.
think that has a lot to play on it because now a lot of people are growing up with the whole battle royale mindset and stuff. So
Fortnite Battle Pass.
yeah, and that's also why I feel like indoor airsoft is such a hot ticket is because you can get those quick 10, 15-minute rapid games going.
Right.
Well,
for all the little kids and stuff.
I feel like it could be a pendulum swing. So like
Oh yeah,
back when I was getting into it, it was paintball. Like when I was a lot younger, that's all. I didn't know nothing about airsoft. I just knew of paintball. And paintball, they have like the tournaments, the quick rounds, like you get speed paintball. And then it kind of like I got noticed like airsoft was kind of getting into like more the milsim, like the harder core stuff, I guess. I don't know however you want to label that. And now it's kind of back into the airsoft side of it where it's speed soft, like the indoor. Nothing wrong with that. But I feel like here in the next couple of years it might swing back to wanting to do more not LARPy, but like more like actual role play events and like
I think we're getting into that more LARPy
yeah.
area.
I think that's
right
a
now.
good thing because
I
it
do too.
really enriches the experience to a degree. Like when you got a civilian faction, they actually play like rioters or something, So you could, I mean, you can really experience kind of like what it is be to face Antifa or something while you're
Bring
out
that
there.
BLM.
Yeah, while you're out there trying to pretend to be, the security team or something, so you can kind of get that experience without the danger that's involved in it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that airsoft is going backwards. I definitely think it's evolving in the right direction.
Yeah.
What was that stat that it gets bigger and bigger every year? It's just the way it gets bigger. You adjust to how things happen.
And one last point I want to touch on was I talked briefly with Grom a bit, and a lot of the things that we see too is like a lot of the more veteran people in airsoft, they're not really relaying their expertise to the next generation. They've formed their groups, and then their groups kind of fall apart, but all that knowledge and experience wherever it's kind of gone. So you got all these little kids coming in, and they
Trying
don't
to figure it out.
Yeah, they're just trying to figure it
just
out.
watching YouTube videos like, oh, that's how it's done.
Yeah,
But it's not really.
So, in some aspect too, I'm hoping with like Explosive Sunset, for instance, or any of the others, that we have more of the veteran style players before they actually fully get out. Because it sounds like some of them are kind of reaching that.
I've seen a couple messages and the media stuff that's been like, oh, I'm coming back out after a couple of years. Like they're coming back for an event. And I was like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah. And then some were talking about, like they might get out soon or something. So I'm hoping like before that transition happens that they can relay some of that knowledge and skill to the younger group generations and stuff. But I think they're also trying to find people that are dedicated to, wanting to be in it, so they're not wasting their time with people who are, because like the average airsoft was only in it for 2 years and then they're gone, and these teams have been in it for a decade.
As well, I think like with Trevor's point of the pendulum swinging, back, you have airsoft now getting really popular amongst the more tactical YouTubers
Community,
who are doing real steel stuff. So hopefully with some of their actual experience and coming into the sport is maybe going to change some of the mindset maybe or help promote the mindset of people wanting to do certain things. Because a common issue with newer players, which is a given, but even people who maybe have been in the sport for a year plus, they're still not wanting to push on objectives. They're still wanting to hold back, but your airsoft replica can shoot like maximum 150, 200 feet normally. So like you got to get in there close. You actually got to go do something. So it's just teaching that newer generation how to actually play the sport as opposed to just sitting back and trying to lob BBs at somebody far away.
Campers don't go to heaven, so.
But nope, that's all I got on that.
Okay. All right, so the next question then, was since like you do a lot of the tech work and everything, with over the years of doing that work, how do you feel about the quality of the replicas that are coming out and stuff? Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? Mixture of both? Or
Well, this question doesn't pertain to me at all. I'm just going to sit over and eat.
I mean, you might be able to
for you.
You might be able to put in on some of it just because everybody's bought a replica.
Yeah, you can definitely comment on like the replicas you've used and what you think about brands and stuff.
Yeah, I
But
have
let
some
me-
opinions on those.
Let me taste this hot sauce real quick. See what this.
So, I mean, everybody like wants to kind of like crap on Lancer, as far as I'm aware. But like,
No,
I
they're-
don't know. I think they're
They're a great starter gun.
I think so too, for the price. I'm not saying it's something that you're gonna have for a very long time and want to upgrade. But like, take our.
All right, we
Take our
can get
AS
into the whole Lancer thing.
Well, I'm saying take our ASL Vals, or Valken ones, or ASL mods.
Yeah,
They're like $180,
right.
and we've been using them forever. And we only replaced, I think, 2 pistons, because they got plastic teeth on them.
Correct.
Hop up?
Yeah, we just do two pistons, a hop up, and one body.
Yeah,
And a few butt stocks here and there that they lose.
yeah. So I mean, like, people don't need to spend like a buttload of money to get into
No.
it, and they're going to have that ASL for.
Well, and that was
5 years.
probably my mistake, like getting into airsoft, buying the VFC Avalon, because even though it was like I think at the time a $400 replica, it did not translate very well to it being a $400 replica, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I had issues with it later on with the selector switch getting loose, and as a player, not knowing anything at the time about how these.
And this was a Danger Close.
Correct.
If we didn't say hot sauce, and the other one before that was the Hula Jalapeno. I'll put Clayton's Hula Jalapeno in the video.
Cutting my lip.
But with, some of these replicas, I don't think necessarily the price to performance is there. And I think for me, that's kind of where Lancer falls at, because they do have issues with their gearboxes fracturing. Like massive issues with their gearboxes fracturing. Now, not all of
The
them.
boxes themselves or like the gears?
The gearbox themselves will
wow.
fracture.
Where like at the piston head, where it like hits
Yeah,
forward.
a lot of them are around that area, or they fracture around where the bushing bearings are,
I did that to a
just
SEMA.
because of some of the stress. But like you're looking at some of these newer replicas coming out, and they're saying pre-upgraded. They're not pre-upgraded in the sense of custom tech work. They might have
That's
some.
how they came in the box.
Yeah, they might have some better parts in there, but
Like a better trigger board or something.
yeah, I mean, well, I don't know, because like SEMA, their Platinum series, that trigger board is known for desoldering itself.
Yeah, it is. I had a SEMA Platinum.
So
I made it a DSG.
I've had 2 of them personally owned. Both of them desoldered themselves. So, those are common issues, and that's not necessarily a cheap gun. It's like 200
It was
and
$250, I think, when I bought it.
250, yeah, 250 for a SEMA Platinum. But it's got a really nice gear set in it. It's
Stop
got
saying gun.
Did I?
One of you did. I heard it.
Gun.
God dang it.
So it's got really nice gears in it, really nice piston in it for the price point. So the only thing really you need to upgrade in it is that trigger board. And, you can upgrade it to a Gate Titan or upgrade it to a Perun, which I prefer the Peruns personally.
You're not a big fan of Gate
Gate Asters are terrible. I don't care who you are, what you say, they are terrible.
Why is that?
You're specifically talking to Gavin right now, aren't you?
I've had issues with them burning out. The sticker on the inside of the gearbox is just not optimal. It uses a laser in order to track where the trigger is, as opposed to using a magnet to track where it is. So I personally prefer the magnet. It's easier to set up on the gearbox.
That's what I have in my DSG.
But with regard to where airsoft guns are going, their quality's gotten better over the years. I mean, if you go back in history, the first airsoft replica...
Is that because the tech has evolved to be better, or is it because like the actual materials?
The materials themselves have gotten better.
Okay.
I think
it also depends on the gun,
as
too.
well as the replica, as well as the engineering.
This is going to take so long to edit.
As well as the engineering going into them, I think has gotten better. Although we've had some issues with the way they've designed battery spaces are not optimal, and that's an issue that goes way back that is still prevalent. But like you look at the first airsoft replica starting in Japan with the Tokyo Marui really popularizing it with the FAMAS. Like that was the first AEG in its full capacity that was put out to market. Not a whole lot has really changed from that point to now with how things operate. There's been minor evolutions and different things go on, but it all pretty much operates the same thing. You have gears that turn, pull a piston back, that slams into a cylinder and air comes out the nozzle. So it's primarily the same sense of it, but the parts themselves, the quality of them has changed and gotten better, I think. Even in like your stock guns, I think it's gotten better.
I mean, like to that though, also it depends. Like the best kept secret on airsoft is a stock gun. Like especially, I have an old Crytac, like old one that I got from Alex on the team that Milo had done a paint job to, and it has no upgraded parts in it, and it sounds like it shoots like it's an upgraded, like a nowadays upgraded gun.
I think the issue currently in airsoft is the upgrade parts. I think there's a lot of people who are buying the most expensive thing and trying to put it in their replica and thinking, well, this is going to make it super amazing, and not realizing what else you have to balance, because there's a lot of science that goes into it.
Yeah, I see you whip out your calculator sometimes to figure out the amount of air that needs to get pushed through the barrel alone just to properly shoot the BB out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think about it, but if you have too much air going, or too much air volume in your barrel, well, that can cause accuracy issues. If you have too little, it can cause accuracy issues. So you want just the right amount, because if you have too little, it actually sucks the BB back.
Yep.
If you have too much, it blows around the side of the BB as it's coming out, and so then you have it going every which way. So people Might be
that BB going through the barrel is not perfectly straight through there.
correct.
And it's going to go off to one side or the other. And if it's like to the left, the air pressure is going to go around on the right, and it's going to cause it to go more so to the right.
And there's all kinds of other factors, but like you got people, let me upgrade to a max hop unit. I don't like max hop units.
Why is that, Blooper?
Because they had some QC issues not too long ago, but they're machined to too tight of a tolerance. They are made for a handful of replicas. They work fine in VFCs, but for the most part, they are pretty bad as a drop-in because you have to shim it. You have to do different things to get it to function properly, and some people have feeding issues with them.
Not a one-size-fits-all.
Yeah, it's not a one-size-fits-all, and that's the problem with upgrade parts. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, let me see what your internals are. Gears are one thing. Of course, Crytek, terrible with aftermarket parts. Like you almost can't upgrade a Crytek. And so the gears in them, they're fine. They're just noisy. But if you want better gears specifically for Crytek, well, you have to modify a bunch of stuff. You have to change all kinds of different things. You're deleting your ambi selector switch because it won't work anymore if you put in upgrade gears and all this whole rigmarole of different things. So the upgrade aspect, I think, is what is an issue with Airsoft right now. Because then you have, and I seen it the other day in Airsoft Ohio Discord, Airsoft fuses for a replica. Are fuses needed for them? No, not always. They're a neat little safety feature if you don't have an upgraded board. But Airsoft fuses, 5 of them for $5. That's $1 a fuse.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's just an automotive.
It's just an automotive fuse. You can go to the store and pick them up for less than 20 cents a piece at the automotive part place. So the problem, I think, is all these places advertising and branding stuff as Airsoft when it doesn't need to be.
Well, and like I know we discussed it before, but I think a lot of it is due to people just don't know what the stuff is for. Like they don't work on cars, they don't work on electronics, they don't do all that stuff. So they're looking specifically for like, what is going to work in my replica, and someone advertises as this is guaranteed to work in your replica, so they buy that part. But that means that person, that the store that they're buying from, has to hold on to that product. It's going to sit on their shelf. It's if you want to get down to the the nuts and bolts of it, that means that part sitting on their shelf is taking up real estate that they could be using for a different part. So there's time, all that stuff.
Well, it's like other hobbies are a good place to go look for some of these other individual parts, whether it be screws, whether it be shims, fuses, wiring. I will never ever buy any Airsoft branded wires.
Yeah, it's just wiring.
Yeah, so that's an issue, as well as there's just not a clear, concise what to upgrade and what to put in your specific replica.
There's so many options. You got all these variables from motor. You got spring. You got piston.
A lot of it comes down to just personal preference. Now, there's certain things like garter. I like the plastic that they use for their different parts. They seem to be pretty high quality.
Yeah.
ZCI, stuff like, known brands seem to be pretty good, but it's just balancing certain things. Certain brands of pinions won't mesh right with other brands of bevel gears. So it's an aspect of a lot of trial and error trying to figure out what works right. And there's not one standard across the whole thing. APS, which we all know what APS stands for. I don't think I have to say what it stands for. But their gearbox is not compatible with a lot of different things. And then so it's Airsoft moving towards that aspect. Some companies are really proprietary, other companies are not. So depending on if you're wanting to upgrade, go for a company that's not proprietary on all their stuff. KWA is super proprietary. Even though I love a lot of their replicas, I wouldn't say is like a player who's wanting to upgrade to go get one of their replicas.
Yeah.
But like SEMA's, they used to be horrible. but now they're kind of in that zone of they're good for the new players, they're good to upgrade, they're good for experienced players.
Well, that's what I did. So when I bought my SEMA Platinum, it was my second gun I ever bought. I bought a Lancer. It was my first like actual non-spring airsoft gun, and then I bought that SEMA, and I loved it. I used it, and then I used it till it started breaking, and then I upgraded it. Don't ever build a DSG gun with a stock gearbox, because you will crack it in half. This is not a good idea. But yeah, so it was a great like not starter gun. It's a good starter gun, but it's a great like continuing.
Replica.
Thank you, replica. You're gonna have to like just
kick you off. No.
He's gonna bleep him like so much.
I know.
Yeah, but it was good to play with, and then just upgrade from there.
I'm just gonna put a fart sound every time he says it.
You're gonna have to put a counter up in the corner. And just
But there's a lot of cool stuff now. A lot of branding now available, so you can get actual branded stuff. So that aspect is changing, getting better, I think. I mean, Daniel Defense has branding, but you see it on so many different replicas and different price points. It's like, well, what's the good one? Just because it's super expensive doesn't mean that it's good.
Yeah.
You can see that with, I believe it's Double Eagle. Some of their AEGs are a lot cheaper, but they're actually decent quality replicas. And so it's just a matter of trying to dig in and find what's there, because there's a lot of replicas out there.
There are a lot.
A lot.
yeah.
And it's what works for one person may not work for you. Mag compatibility is a massive issue with some stuff. It's getting better.
PTS ones, the new ones are great. There you go, Milo.
EPM ones.
PTS EPM ones.
Yeah.
There you go.
So like AEGs are pretty cut and dried on that. They're advancing and kind of laterally. They're not like really going. They're not going up anywhere. They're kind of just staying the same for the most part. Horizontally is what I meant, Trevor, not laterally.
No, that's continue.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Now, when you look at like gas blowbacks, which is what I'm involved in way too much.
How many of those do you own?
I think I'm on my 10th one right now.
How many other replicas do you own that are not gas blowback?
I probably have close to 20 replicas, if not maybe
That's
a hair
wild.
more than that.
But gas blowback's pretty nice though, because of the feedback you get.
Yeah, the problem
sexy.
with gas blowback is people want to buy cheap on gas blowback, and you can't buy cheap on gas blowback.
Yeah.
Even though like some of the parts qualities are getting better, the systems being used are better. There's companies out there that are using older systems that are just garbage, and are still using a lot of pot metal for their parts. So if somebody buys a cheap gas blowback, you're going to have a bad experience. So I wouldn't say it's the same as like if you buy a cheap AEG, having a bad experience. Because I've had better experiences out of a cheap AEG than an expensive AEG. So there's definitely that part of it. And so people that are maybe used to AEGs are going into it thinking, well, I can just buy a cheap one and get into it. That is not the case. It'll be a money pit, which I've experienced some of those already.
Yeah. Looking
At you, KWA MP9. I've dropped $200 in already, and it's still not working.
Yeah. Well, I still feel like HPAs are superior.
I agree. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, there's so much more that you can do.
Is very close, though.
So there used to be that massive myth. Well, it's a myth now. It was true in the past that gas blowbacks were less accurate, that they had less range, that they had more issues, that they just weren't good in the winter. While some of those, specifically with winter time, it can be an issue. Your Tokyo Maruis and VFC M4s specifically have systems built in place and using different pressure gases where it's not really an issue unless you're like sub-zero. But like in the past, yeah, they used to have a lot of issues. Now they've gotten way better, and there's way more advancements on how that nozzle is interacting and how everything's sealing up. new hop-up unit designs that have come out that just really improve a lot of stuff there. So it's not the same as it used to be. They are reliable. In fact, I'll put my gas blowback up against any AEG or HPA.
Yeah, some of them are really good. It's all about, like you said, though, it's the science behind it that you're just trying to get the BB to be consistent and go the furthest it can. So you just have to know the mechanics behind it.
Yeah.
And I know some people still say like AEGs are superior, and I don't understand that.
They're
but
smoking crack cocaine.
yeah,
HPA.
AEGs can be very good. But
Yeah.
I don't think they're.
HPA, you just have so much more control, easier control, I think is the key. It's easier to control how things are doing. Now, Kytheras, I guess if you want to make the argument that they're worse as an HPA engine, you could, because you have limited control. They don't like short barrels. They like longer barrels. So in that aspect of it, you kind of have to balance your build of what you're wanting to put in. Polar Star jacks are known to have worse accuracy just because of how they output their air. And then, of course, you look at like F2s. And
Yeah, but the great
stuff
thing
like that.
about the Kythera, though, is that you don't need a battery.
You don't need a battery.
And that's like to me, that's a huge bonus. Because those little batteries, like the 250,
they last
300.
for a while. I've only charged mine a couple times.
I think
but
when
they're
I
just a pain.
I think when I last did like the air volume calculation and looking at some stuff on that, they like barrels around 300 millimeters in length.
But I'm just saying, like, it seems like there's not enough juice inside those 250 to 300 milliamp batteries. Because, like, you know, we had issues with the Titan batteries.
Right.
Which is great to have those because they're lithium, but you need the polymer ones because they need the higher constant output for the boards that they're putting in them nowadays.
That is another thing, I guess, before we wrap up the subject with batteries.
Yeah, batteries are kind of...
So if you look at the RC hobby with RC cars, we use the same batteries.
Yes.
Their batteries are way cheaper, but...
They're just designed in a different package.
Yeah, they're designed in a different package. So it's more of getting companies to redesign the package to bring them to airsoft so that we can use them a little bit more effectively.
Yeah, because when you're paying like $30 for a battery that in the RC world costs $15, you're kind of like,
right,
what is going on here? Somebody's just making a bunch of money off of the name.
And then it's understanding batteries and why you use a certain voltage or why not to use a certain voltage. And batteries are very confusing. So that's why I'm gas blowback only. I don't have to worry about batteries. All I got to worry about is propane.
Yeah, just don't do it in a hotel room.
That was one time.
Got a contact high off that. You weren't there. That's when we went up to Bristol.
What was this?
He was trying to fix one of Marmar's mags.
Yeah.
They both have their VFC. They're nice guns or nice replicas, and love them. But he had to fix one of his mags for him, and he decides to do it right as we get put all our stuff in the hotel room and gets in there, goes to the little desk, and just. And we were just like, I swear, if you set off some gas detector in this hotel, you're not gonna come back in one piece. Louis just left Alex and went and got dinner.
Yeah.
All right, shall we get to the next one?
Yeah.
Take a bathroom
we got
break.
the truffle sauce there.
Take a
This
bathroom
one,
break.
Trevor, if you've
bathroom
never...
break.
Bathroom break?
Yeah,
There's no breaks.
I need to go pee pee.
All right, go ahead.
Keep your mic on.
All right, don't worry.
Just go in your pants again.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep. We're gonna do a piss compilation.
Hey, we'll set up the sauce on
Also,
your...
do you want this shirt just hanging here still?
Yeah, it's just covering that corner of the desk there.
Cool.
Trevor, we'll put your sauce on your plate for you.
Oh, thanks. So nice. Make sure it's the red sauce.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Mix it.
What?
I didn't say anything.
Well, you looked at me all weird.
You were looking at me.
You looked at me like you wanted to kiss me.
All right, everybody ready to continue?
Yeah, but he needs to have his truff sauce.
Grab a wing.
I should have got more water when I was down there.
Yeah, you need some more?
Eventually.
Would you mind going down there and getting some more water for everybody?
I just drink it out of habit. It's not that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. That's a bit much.
Get enough there, 7?
Right? All right, so our next question is going to be a bit more leaning towards the business side of things. Basically, I was kind of interested in knowing what you thought about it was going to be like running an airsoft field when you were first a player versus actually having been in it now for a while, and what you think about it.
So I didn't think it was going to be as involved as it is.
That's really good.
Right?
Sorry.
Looking at it from the outside, I think there's this common idea of, things just happen. But there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of prep that actually goes into effectively running a field. I mean, anybody can run airsoft in their backyard.
Yep.
But to effectively provide an experience to a player base and to have them keep coming back requires a lot of effort. It's a lot of stress too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like looking at the business side of it. It's not like we're ignoring what people are saying. It's not like we're just, we're going to force this on somebody else. We're actually seeing what all is possible. What can we incorporate that the community wants to see?
Can I have that sauce again?
Good Lord.
It's really good.
It is good.
So, there's, with that aspect of it, why are you throwing this to me? Golly, you're never getting on the team.
You can keep that over there. I'm good for now.
The business side of it is way more involved than I originally thought.
Anticipate what people are
Trying
going to do.
to anticipate what they're going to do. Trying to come up with what's a good idea of what people would enjoy, because you guys are very difficult to figure out what you want to do. One day you'll be like, well, I want to do this or that, and then you'll complain about the same thing that we decided to go do. So it's like, and I get it. I was there too. But it's the aspect of trying to figure out of what is going to keep people coming back. Why do they want to do this specific thing? Because it all comes down to, trying to figure out and trying to get good metrics on what works. And it's very difficult, I think, in airsoft right now, at least for us locally, to figure out what do people want to see and why do they want to see it this way.
Yeah, because we got a wide variety of people. Ages, milsim to casuals to you name it. And you're trying to do stuff throughout the day, like for an open play. That's going to cater to all of them. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes we do things like, let's say our zombie event where, you got to run around with the pool noodles and stuff. Some people love that. Some people hate it. But we're trying to get a mix in there. So at least everybody has a good section of the time that they're going to be out there that they're going to absolutely love. Mm-hmm. We can't do like a whole one day of just like milsim, another whole day of LARPing or whatever, because then like people just won't come for that day, so you're gonna end up with less people. So it's like you gotta kind of share that time.
Right. Yeah, I think like what I used to know, well, even when I was on the team the first time, I wasn't as involved in the business side of it as I am now. And so like that transition was very different because you didn't realize the effort that went into advertising, to making media, to preparing and doing all these things, coming up with game modes. I know like a lot of our recent stuff, it's been, us executives working on the game modes and trying to get those prepped to then push out to like all of our other guys. Okay, what do you think about this? And then pushing it out to the community of, okay, what do you think about this?
Yeah, and then getting our refs trained on it so they can, we gotta make it easy enough for them to be able to quickly know the rules.
Because even though we've maybe been working on this one thing for a couple months to a year, not everybody is privy or not everybody knows about how to go about it. So it's relaying what's up in here to somebody so that they can effectively do that job.
You got a lot up there.
I do. Like I
lot
said,
of nothing.
Me and him talked for 2
lot of
hours.
nothing. A whole lot of nothing that he has 2 water bottles open right now.
Well, this one's cold.
Why'd you throw this to me? And then proceeds to open it.
Well, that one's cold.
Well, might as well get an advertisement for Ice Mountain in here. Jeez.
Ice Mountain. Get yours today.
So like coming in as a player, you definitely thought it was going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't really have an expectation of what the difference is. So when I first came on, I was more of looking at the team side of it. So it's like just a group of guys, you get together, you hang out, you go to these other events, you play as a team, and you work together doing this and that. So then when it transitioned over to I'm a part of the more business side of it, of all right, we're running a field, it kind of just was like accepting of that. But at that time, I'm just a ref. So I'm just out there just, making sure people are having a fun time. And then you start to get involved in it, I think, because you see the excitement from the other players when they have a fun game. Mm-hmm. When you're able to do these different things that everybody else isn't doing. Or maybe you're only getting that experience from a $200 and $300 event. So if we can bring that similar experience at a lower price point, well, I want to be a part of that. That's exciting to do because then you get recognition for the team of this is what happened. And then, 10 years down the road, when you look at Airsoft again, you're like, well, I was a part of that. And that aspect of it, I think, is pretty cool.
What do you think?
Yes.
Because like the media side's no joke.
That's a new territory the last couple of years. Well, yeah, since I was a kid, like it all started just with YouTube. Like a few people would start posting videos, and that's like
because I've only been a part of a small portion of the media.
Yeah, you do some graphics here and there. They're great. You do a lot of like event posters and graphics, and like I guess you two like wrote up all the signage that we have at the field for like jewel limits and different rules for like, I don't know, just different rules. You have like the signs that we have by the big map. Like almost like 6 signs or whatever we have there, like stuff like that.
Info signs.
It's probably the most effective.
With all the misspellings.
Like not advertisement, but effective thing that we've created has been our replica rules for Chrono.
Oh yeah, I use that all the time.
Because that gets used by our guys, that gets used by customers when they come into the shop and want to look at, all right, what can they run?
When we go out there only every 2 weeks, it's easy to forget some of the details, because there's a lot of details that we remember, game modes, and remember the stuff that's in the shop, and a lot of tactile stuff. So it's like it's getting to the point where it's like it's not easy for just one person to remember everything. So we need these signs even for our people.
It's like you made the game mode cards that we're about to revamp and revisit. So like just like stuff like that like it's not necessarily media, but it's media for us that is super helpful that you just don't think about until you're like, oh, well, have a question. You're like just to literally hand them the piece of paper, the label, like laminated piece of paper, and they're like, oh, well, that's super easy. You can just show the customer as well. So, but yeah, the media doing podcasts, doing constant social media posts about Explosive Sunset coming up with Milo, taking pictures and like other video content for that while we're at the field, doing tax off like small overview like debriefs that we're looking at doing here soon. Just like slowly getting into that where we can hopefully start making money on that, which will in turn start paying for other stuff at the field, or better equipment for this, or just space, like that type of stuff will just like it gets people also interested with online presence. And if you can get that, then it gives them a place for feedback, which is really helpful with Discord, which is immensely helpful. But like if they're talking in Discord or having actual discourse, not causing problems, just like.
Which we also have our buy sell trade website.
Yes,
because you can't sell stuff on Discord and stuff anymore.
So go to our discourse on our website, g2tech.com. Anyway, so just like that type of stuff. It was just like it all started from Silo and Novrish back in the day, just throwing some videos up on YouTube and it sticking to a wall. And now this is where we're at. So
yeah, and our media presence doing decent too. Yeah. It's like especially our Instagram is helping out a lot.
Yeah, slow and steady.
Yeah,
So,
it is very slow and
good.
steady.
Well, that's the thing, like reaching out to the community and that aspect of it, because we're a business, so we got to have a media presence. We got to have our name out there because we want to bring in people from not just Ohio, but from everywhere.
Yeah.
Which
So-
we've slowly started doing. We got some people from Kentucky.
Yeah, so like if people can't see you, people don't know you're here. And that is kind of like a secret of airsoft. Because like when I first got into it, trying to find anything was super difficult.
It seemed like there was like a golden era for a while there, because like you had the Airsoft Ohio forums,
Right.
back when people used forums, which was a good and bad thing, because now we got instant messaging and stuff. But there was also that AC3 site or whatever, which
Right.
had a lot of airsoft fields on there.
Which that thing's not been updated in a long time.
Yeah, well, it seems like there are people out there that try to create these tools for everybody to use, and then like not a lot of people use them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I kind of feel like because it stems back to like everybody wants to have their own thing, and they don't want other people to be able to use that thing. Because like take Ohio for instance, like it did seem like there was a bit of a problem with like older fields, not wanting to have any association or mention of any other field because they were worried about them losing their player base.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, if you're going to play at our field, you're going to play at our field. If not,
Well,
as long as everybody's having fun and whatever, it's going to happen.
It just helps the community. Like this past year, we Parker's had some problems with their fields, and we had them up at our field to run an event. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, we want the community of airsoft itself to grow.
Yeah.
And if we're a part of that, so be it. Like, that's amazing. That's great. And if not, we'll just be a team and hang out and be friends. Like, it's just.
And I don't see it as like a downfall to like our field or whatever we're trying to do.
You build each other up. You bring each other along. Like,
yeah.
Well, because like when you think about it, all right, one place gets big enough in their promotion of stuff. If you're friendly with other people, you can promote their stuff and reach a bigger audience, and so you're kind of bringing the whole community together as opposed to separating them.
Yeah, and seeing like if we did get big enough to where I don't know, maybe we could be like a national thing or something, I would have zero issues with like promoting other fields events like Parker's with their Vietnam stuff, or Pike County. I forget the name of the one Milsim event that they ran, but doing that, or Sector 7 with their pressure cooker, I believe it is, and stuff like that. Because like if we're all working together, we're gonna make the airsoft community itself, at least especially in Ohio, bigger and better for everyone. And like I try to tell everybody I run into, airsofters are only willing to drive usually so far from their house to get to a field. Unless your closest field sucks, then they're willing to travel further if the event is worth it to them.
well, and
Right.
that's the thing I hear constantly when I'm running shop stuff. It's like, oh yeah, we came from Virginia. Like, why? like some people will drive over an hour to come to G2. And
Yeah.
they're just like, huh, that kind of puts something in your head. They're like, oh, I guess we're doing something right.
Yeah, and then it
Like-
makes you want to really perform well because they gave us their time
Yeah.
and their money, and like it is our duty to make sure that they have the best time there.
We haven't been perfect, and we'll never always be perfect.
Yeah.
But we're gonna strive to be
Correct.
the best that we can be.
And to me, that's a very big honor. If someone comes from even over an hour away, you're like, wow, you chose us and you drove an hour to be here. Like to me, that's phenomenal. It blows my mind.
Yeah. And some of the teams even over an hour away. So it's
Yeah, some of our teammates, like Milo, for instance.
Milo, Alex, a few other
Yeah.
guys.
Well, yeah, I drive an hour to get to the field.
You
every
don't
day.
count. You're
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
you're not allowed to complain anymore.
Let's make it a third time that I join the team.
He's gonna leave and never come back.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet Jesus.
Anything else that you want to share with the business side of things that you thought was crazy or memorable or?
Darren and Angie put money into this thing. Like,
That is a crazy aspect of it, but it's not like when I think of like some of the business stuff that we've done. Just running an airsoft field is kind of crazy for a random team to just decide we're going to do. because it wasn't like just necessarily one person's decision. Obviously, you have the full say on it, but we had to all be on a similar mindset of this is what we want to do. Mm-hmm. We want to do this for the community, because that's what it's always been about. It's for the community. It's never been about the money. It's never been about
as long as it's
what we can get for ourselves. It's always been about the community.
It was for what I wanted. I would have gone a long time ago.
But, I mean, so that's like where our mindset was at. So that's kind of crazy to think about these random friends who didn't know each other before Airsoft getting together and saying, all right, let's run an airsoft field. Yeah. And then, all the troubles that come with that from, marketing the individuals in the team. And what I mean by that is, well, we have to have a specific appearance. We have to act a specific way. We have to treat the community, not just at our own field, a specific way, but at other places.
Yeah, just with respect.
So, it's that aspect of not everybody thinks about what goes into that. Because if you're just a random airsofter, well, I'm going to go to this field, I'm going to act however I want because, it is what it is. But as a team member, we're representing our field, we're representing our team. There's a lot of weight that comes with that and responsibility of, not driving potential customers away, mm-hmm. but and as well as bringing the community together. So, yeah. I think that aspect of it's kind of fun, kind of interesting, but it does add a lot of weight, I think, on thinking about your responsibility to the business and to the airsoft community as a whole.
And to touch a little base on, you're talking about with like a bunch of strangers that's coming together to become friends. I think that's one of the most rewarding aspects, mm-hmm. at least for me, of just doing airsoft in general is mm-hmm. like not just with our teammates. Like we didn't know Clayton, we didn't know Trevor, I didn't know Aaron before I started all this stuff.
Clayton,
but yeah, Clayton number 2.
I forgot there is 2.
Yeah, like a lot of these people on the team, like I would have never met them if it wasn't for the field. And mm-hmm. I think it's the same way for a lot of people that come out and play airsoft. They wouldn't have known any of those people, and they formed groups and friendships and whatever else from that. I would
have never met you if it weren't for Lambert. I met Lambert at I-70.
Yeah.
And then I went to that event with you guys.
Yeah.
See,
the field.
Good things do come from I-70.
Yeah, I mean it was the only spot around.
Life.
It was the only spot around that was close by, and it was something is better than nothing,
Yeah. Well, that's what G2's turned into a second family. So it's just, that's what it is. Like, I don't see you guys as teammates really much. It's more of brothers.
And I think in some small aspect, we've been able to be a part of other people having that similar experience with meeting friends and creating mm-hmm. their own individual teams and communities.
Mm-hmm. Not knowing airsoft from like the reffing aspect, now that I do know that side of things, looking back at I-70, refs didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
Well, I mean, most of the times I went there wasn't even a ref.
The hole probably had a groundhog in it.
It was always the players.
Yeah, and people would get hurt. We had some people heat cash. Nobody was doing anything about it. God forbid Tim did anything. Guy's an idiot.
Maybe do I just sit back in that one room where we were watching his QAnon stuff or whatever.
You go into the shop, there's like 16-year-olds that didn't know what the hell they were doing running the shop.
Yeah, I think it was his kids running everything. But all right, ready for the next one?
I am.
I think that was a good discussion. So hopefully people got a good insight onto all that stuff.
I'm doubtful.
Anything we said, they should just disregard.
All right, so the truffle hot sauce. This one's a little bit hotter, but it's not like too bad. It's still pretty good.
When do I get to see Blooper cry?
At the very end.
Those 3 there.
My tummy's starting to... I don't know if it's just because I've been eating chicken the whole time. I was hungry.
What's going on with my phone?
Great, now we got Star Lord on his phone.
I'm lollygagging over there.
Just kidding.
Okay, next question.
Next question is going to be your favorite gear that you like for airsoft.
My favorite gear. Well, I think as the whole Ohio airsoft community already knows, I'm kind of an Agilite shill.
You don't say.
But I did bring 2 specific examples of gear that I love. So let me. I forgot how good this one was.
Right. It is pretty good. Both of them are pretty excellent, if you ask me.
So I don't know if you want me to show it off to the camera or not. My
Quite
stuff.
divine.
Yeah. I mean, they got truffle salt, they got truffle sauce. I mean, everything.
That one does have a little bit of spice to it, though, which I kind of like.
I like those too.
Oh, you know who you got them from?
Jungle Gyms.
Well, you got to say it in the posh. I got them from Jungle Gyms.
I got it from Jungle Gyms.
My name's Seven. All right.
My name's Seven. I got it from Jungle
So
Gyms.
Shouldn't we be saying that about you and your posh Agilite stuff?
it's not posh, okay? It's,
Whatever Israeli is or whatever.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing that I couldn't go without, and probably one of my favorite pieces of gear, is actually my dump pouch on my belt. There's a lot of people I see that don't run a dump pouch for whatever reason, but I personally think as part of a kit, I have to have one. Like, I cannot go without using one because I can dump so much stuff in here. I use it to hold stuff in between games, use it to hold empty mags. I'll throw cans of gas in here or random BBs or whatever else. So for me,
I'm one of the people that don't run one.
See,
but I'm actually thinking about getting one because, like you said, hold your mags. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes I just throw it right back in my pouch, but it can be hard to.
yeah, I'll do that
when
too.
you're in the thick of it.
So like for me, I run 30 round mags. So like if I'm in the middle of an extended firefight, I just have to dump the mag and throw in my new one and then keep going on. So what I tend to end up doing is if I'm standing behind cover and I dump that mag, I'll just pick it up off the ground and put it in my dump pouch.
Yeah, quick way to get and go.
As well as I think it's good for policing garbage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, if you carry water with you, a bottle of water, you can dump it in your dump pouch. That way you're not littering all over somebody else's field or wrappers or whatever else. As an admin, it's useful because I've used it where people have given me random gear that they found on the ground. So then I have a place to put it and bring it to our lost and found. It's good for just all that aspects of just a catch-all pouch that I can just put whatever I need into it. I can use it for whatever I want. Normally, I'll use it to hold like my gloves and my mesh face protection. Just that way I know where it's always at. Right now I got a random gas mag inside of it.
He doesn't lie.
So,
It's a lot easier to get in and out of too than like your backpack.
Yeah.
Where on your belt do you put it on your butt? Do you put it on your side?
So I have it on my side position. So if you look at my belt from the front, I got my mags here, which sit, so it's back left right next to my IFAC.
Okay. Pretty close
So,
to what I have.
Which this IFAC's an actual IFAC, has actual medical gear into it. You don't need that in airsoft, but it's always, I think, a good thing to have.
Yeah.
If you're doing real steel training, as well as, if somebody does get hurt legitimately,
Yeah.
you have material to do that. And that's another thing. All right, garbage from my IFAC, I can just dump it right in here instead of dumping it on the ground. Or, let's say one of these mags doesn't work. And normally I'll just dump it in my pouch. That way I don't accidentally grab it. I'm not using it. It's out of my way. On my plate carrier, I have a method for empty mags where I do reinsert them. But no, I couldn't go without my dump pouch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I use it at almost every event for something random or even just adminning. And then as well, like the second piece of gear that I couldn't go without, aside from the plate carrier, which I absolutely love, this K0 Agilite plate carrier, please sponsor me. I also have their, I don't know exactly what to call it, but dangler pouch.
Yeah, it's your flab hider.
Yeah, my flab hider. So specifically the Agilite one, I like it because it opens from the front.
His fupa pouch.
My fupa pouch, yeah.
Kangaroo pouch. I think that's what
It opens from the front. So while I'm standing up, instead of trying to reach over top and open it up, it opens up from there, and then I can reach in and I'll carry gas, random stuff, lights, hand lotion, condoms, whatever I need in order to fulfill my needs.
When you're out there with Clayton.
When I'm out there with Clayton.
and looking for that tent in the woods.
Don't forget about the medical lube you like to put your guns.
That was one time, and that was an emergency situation. So
Medical lube.
yeah, do I need to tell that story?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
about
go
this.
ahead.
Okay.
I only noticed someone mentioned it in the Discord. I
We were in the
haven't heard
middle
about
of
it.
a firefight.
Oh, don't worry, I can tell the story. So yes, so Dangler, I couldn't go without. I throw just all kinds of stuff in there. Now on to the story. We were at, what event was it?
I think it was the free open play.
Yes, it was. This was our Black Market Open Play.
Okay.
And I was playing there, and I was running my G36, my MG36, and I had the HPA drum mag and stuff with it. First time ever running it. So I'm out there, laying down the hate. Then all of a sudden, it does not cycle. It just will not cycle at all. And we're inside of ghost town buildings. I'm over there with Percy, and I'm like, do you have any lubricant or anything? And he's like, well, I have some medical lube in my IFAC back here. I'm like, give it to me. So I dump it inside of the bolt, lather everything up. It still is barely cycling. It's a bolt action from that point on. Turns out later on I just shattered my hammer. But yes, I dumped medical lube as bolt lubricant for...
Sometimes you gotta make it work, you know?
It would not cycle at all.
Lube is lube. I mean,
I still never
He was
cleaned it
just
out.
going like this.
still never cleaned it out. Let me guess. It's probably in the back of your Ford Focus.
It's not in the back of my Ford Focus. It is inside my house, sitting over in my random airsoft replica corner, waiting for me to put a brand new hammer in it.
Oh, that reminds me. Go ahead. You guys go ahead. I gotta look up a date.
I'll go on a date with you.
Okay. Well, not to be the same, but I also brought my battle belt, which, as a whole, is kind of my item. But I cannot go without my battle belt. I'd rather wear a battle belt than a plate carrier, to be honest, or any chest rig, because I could wear this as a light rig if it's hot out or something, and just run with it.
Now, which belt do you have?
So, it's the same way that Blooper is an Agulite shell, I am a Krydex shell. So, Krydex, sorry, not Krydex. So, all of this is Krydex. They have cheaper gear, but it is still really good quality. I have plate carrier from them. I got BDUs from them, belt, all that. So, but
we just picked them up as a vendor too, so we'll be having them in our shop.
I was super happy about that. They have some good quality stuff. A few of the newer things are a little bit of to be determined.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, it's not going to empty your bank account to get it.
And it's
because how much did your belt cost? If you don't mind me asking.
I think total with the inner belt, I think it was like $45-50.
Yeah. So this is a Ronin Tactics belt. It cost me like $300.
Yeah,
just for the belt.
That's like if you buy like a TRX Arms one or something.
Yeah, a lot of these people aren't buying this stuff because they're also doing real steel. You know, they're just there for airsoft.
Well, I mean, I've used this for real steel too. I'll empty all my mags out.
Oh yeah, you can for sure.
And I run the same real steel pistol and rifle or replica and rifle. So
Can't say rifle
I
either.
know, I just realized that.
It's fine.
But anyway, but yeah, so I'm extremely close to Blooper and how I set it up as well. I got my 2 pistol pouches, 2 rifle pouches, dump pouch, IFAC here on the back, actual medical supplies in it as well. But I
Is
also
there any
have a
medical
tourniquet.
lube in there?
I'll have to check later. I
You
don't
gotta have extra for you gotta have extra for Blooper when he's around.
tourniquet on there, and then the holster as well. But yeah, this is.
What do you even use medical lubricant for?
I don't know. That is a good question. What would you use that for in a medical situation?
I don't even know what kind of lube it is. It must just be.
I hope it was just petroleum jelly.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
yeah, so I'll wear this when I'm reffing. I'll wear this when I'm around the shop. Like, I'll just wear this all day when I'm at the field. But the one thing I love about it is having the inner belt. I'll wear the inner belt for normal everyday situations. That's all. I have 2 belts. I have an inner belt and I just have a random black belt, and I wear that inner belt. I'm wearing it right now. So like, it's really nice just to be able to carry these things and it be super low profile and not have to carry a plate carrier or anything.
So you said there's an inner and outer belt.
Yeah. We'll make this weird or not.
Yeah, show them your piece.
But like, it's a Velcro belt. Yeah, the Blooper's got one.
Yeah, and so how do you attach it to your outer belt?
So the inner belt you just put on like a normal belt, and it is the female side, and then the outer belt is the male side, the hook side.
So that entire inside has Velcro on it.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, show them how it all operates.
So the entire inside, let's see what camera, we'll go with that camera. The entire inside of the belt is the hook, and then got the inner belt, which is female, and it all sticks to it. So when you're wearing it, it binds it to your person.
Pretty quick to take on and off.
Pretty quick to take on and off, and you just have the latch in the front, so it doesn't.
Do you find the inner belt to be uncomfortable?
No, it is one of the most comfortable belts I've ever worn.
Seeing yours is a lot thinner than mine.
Yeah.
I have a thicker inner belt than yours even is.
Noise I can make.
At least it ain't like blooper while we're talking.
Oh, good job.
Sweet.
Clay, would you mind grabbing that?
Yeah, it's not like
It's
you need,
okay, I
not
can
like
get
you
it
need your
later.
pants or anything.
Yeah, I'm sitting down. It's not like my pants are going to fall down, although you'd enjoy that if they did.
But the other thing, like Luke was talking about earlier, he keeps a dump pouch on him. The only really thing I use my dump pouch for is grenades. Whenever I'm wearing my plate carrier or chest rig, I have some grenade pouches on there. But I usually will just dump as many grenades as I can fit in here. Just that's what I mainly use it for. Or just random trash I find. Or
Since I'm not, allowed to carry that many grenades, I don't have a need to dump grenades in my dump pouch.
Yeah, we prefer you not to kill your own team.
yeah. But one of the other things I didn't bring that I kind of thought of when I was on the way, like one of my other favorite pieces of gear, is a water bladder. Like, I have a water bladder, especially in the summer, almost on me all the time, and it's always full.
Like a backpack kind?
Yeah,
Or?
so like just like a camelback. So I run that into my backpack. That's on my plate carrier, so it's pretty low profile, pretty chill. And I also usually, if I'm running HPA, it's also in there. HPA tank's in there. But water bladder, it's nice. I don't have to worry about carrying a water bottle, and I just have the hose ran through my molly, and just right here I can.
I used to run ice plates.
Ooh,
I remember that. How did you like those?
So the issue that I got to running them is running 2 of them was flipping heavy.
Yeah.
I wanted to die when we were at Muscatog because I ran both of them, but they were cool. I think they'd be cooler for like a thinner plate carrier. So like with mine, I had to run them actually on the outside up against my chest as opposed to inside my plate carrier. Because I was using them as the plate
inside the plate
inside
pocket.
the plate.
So
bag.
you would actually like freeze them though? Like
Yeah, I'd freeze them. They kept me cool throughout the day. I had plenty of water throughout the whole day, so that aspect of them was pretty cool. They're pretty tough. If I were to use them again, I would just run one.
Any issues with like cleaning them on the inside and stuff?
They are kind of difficult to clean.
Because from recall, they got a bunch of holes in them, right? In the actual ice plate itself, or was it a full solid?
No, it's just a full solid plate
Okay.
of whatever that plastic is. That
BPH, not free.
whatever BPA free plastic, whatever it is. They were neat. They require prep time.
So while you're wearing them, how long would they stay cool for? Because you're out there running around, you're going to get pretty warm.
So when we were there at Muscatog Training Facility, that was like, 80 or 90 degrees that day. They were frozen the entire day.
Wow.
Really? Yeah. I didn't realize that. You're
Wow.
a sweaty boy. You put on some heat.
So it was.
Were you just sitting there the whole day, not
Wouldn't do
playing?
anything.
No, we were
Sitting
running
in texture.
together. Yeah, no, they stayed frozen pretty much the entire day.
That's wild. I wouldn't have expected like 8 hours or whatever.
Yeah, it was like 8 hours that they stayed frozen.
It's the opposite of me. I run real still.
I mean, they were, don't get me wrong, they were slowly unthawing, and so you get your liquid from that. So as they unthaw, you have your hose hooked up to them so you can drink from them.
Yeah, I thought it was always a good idea, but I was always wondering, like, well, how long would it take for my body heat from running around to just cook them? To now I'm drinking 98.6 degree water.
It was always the cool water.
That's good. Okay.
So
Interesting.
So
they were just heavy.
In between the plate and you, I assume, was there like that Agilite one or whatever I bought off you that like a, what is it, like a foam or something between you and the plate?
So
or
the way I did it with mine, I just had them sitting up against my body.
directly up against?
Yeah, and that's just to keep me super cool. If they were inside my plate bag, then it wouldn't be keeping me cool.
That's wild that they would stayed frozen for that long.
The issue that I had with them was the condensation, which is why I stopped running them, because they were just making everything wet.
Yeah.
So if you didn't freeze them, it'd be different. You're just using it as a water bladder inside of your plate bag. That's kind of cool. But I now run an Agilite water bladder.
That was $600.
It wasn't. It was like $60.
What was the import tax on that?
It's not import. They have a warehouse here.
Where's the location? Because you would know that.
It's a warehouse here in the States. Where I get everything from. Okay, not sponsored. Want to be sponsored. I can't wait till that Reaper rig comes out. My new chest rig that I'm gonna buy. But yeah, like Trevor said, water bladder, something to have water, super useful. Who is it that makes it? The same Core Performance, the same people that make the ice plates. They just came out with it's like I don't know what to call it. Like a new version of like kind of a canteen, if you want to think of it, like a water canteen, but it slips into a Kydex pocket. And so it holds in there. You can freeze it to kind of help with some body heat, or you can just use it as like just a water bottle. And it just slips in. It's square, so it's not round. So you can molly the thing onto your belt or whatever, and you can just pull it right out, put it right back in. It stays firm. I thought about buying that one.
Dang, that reminds me, when we were at SHOT Show, I forgot to stop by the police area again, because they had this cool camelback type deal where instead of it being a backpack on your back, it was actually 2 zipper pouches on the side. So like if you needed to lay on your back, you weren't like laying on your pouch.
I've seen things like that for like runners. Runners have like a skeletonized like pack type system. It's just been like with water bottles. I mean, I think I've seen like a camelback version, but like it's on their sides, not on their back. So like it's a different spot. So
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was so cool because it would zip on the side of the back of your plate carrier. So it was more so like on your sides a little bit. It was split in 2, and they just had a hose that connected in the back and then came up to the front.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The thing I'll say is like a lot of people start putting way too much weight on their kits. And so like you have to have, that's why I do buy the more expensive plate carriers, because I feel like you get better support from something that's got more padding, something that's built.
They definitely should be using better
it.
materials, that's for sure.
So, you know, I've dealt with uncomfortable plate carriers before, and then when I switched to Agilite, I was like, I don't feel this thing on me. It holds in a lot of heat, but I don't mind it as much, especially in the wintertime. It keeps you pretty warm if you play outside, but I don't play outdoors in the winter, so it doesn't affect me any. But yeah, I mean, while those water bladder things are cool, or those ice plates are cool, if you can't handle the weight, what's the point in running them? So it's kind of one of those things you kind of have to see what works for you, or how you can use it. Because, I mean, if you're carrying all this weight and then you're exhausted by hour 3, you know, what's the point in you coming out?
Yeah, you got to definitely keep in mind fatigue, your own body fatigue. So either get out there and do some walking or some jogging or something so you can still perform or whatever with all the stuff that you're wanting to bring.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay. All right, we will do the next one.
How many more questions we got? 3?
Yes. Three questions.
All right, let's make these last 2 super.
Reaper XXX. Squeezins.
technically we only got 2, so we'll have to create a third one.
Do we?
Yeah.
Or you can just skip one of the hot sauces.
No, we ain't skipping them.
Skip
I'm about to be
the
diabolical.
Huh?
Skip the third one, go to the last 2.
Yeah. All right. So this one was brought up in our Discord chat. Do you think that full auto breaks airsoft?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Are you okay there, Trevor?
It's not wanting to come out.
So, full auto and airsoft.
Whatever.
I don't know where you guys fit on it. I know kind of where I stand.
I like it for certain things, but not for everything.
Yeah. So I definitely think the aspect of full auto kind of breaks airsoft in general.
And why is that?
So a lot of people today, it would seem, just don't know how to push. I guess, let me rephrase it. Full auto breaks airsoft when you have too many people on one team that are just using full auto.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you can find a way to balance it out, then it kind of works. But it always comes back to the fire superiority doctrine. If I have somebody on my team who has an LMG,
Corners of my mouth are a little
and
fiery.
and I'm, fighting against somebody else who is just not a superior fighting force, who doesn't have the same capabilities that I do, well, the LMG can just keep them pinned where they're at.
Yeah.
That's its whole point, is to suppress the area. So, for me, I think full auto from an LMG maybe isn't as bad if you can keep it limited to so many people.
Fuck, that's hot.
Did we accidentally do the hottest one?
Nope. That's pretty hot, though.
Enhance.
Unlucky moment.
Yeah, that brought a tear to my eye.
Oh, you're about to hate yourself.
Full auto and airsoft.
I'm about to fall all over this table here in a second.
I think SMGs can be an issue.
Can be, yeah.
We have MEDs for for LMGs, MMGs, and HMGs. Holy smokes!
Right? That Reaper. Oh my God.
Set that.
Don't give it to Blooper. Give it to Blooper last.
Thank you. Thank you, kind sir.
Yep.
And ma'am.
Is it kicking your ass?
That wouldn't kind of hurt.
When Darren's crying.
Look at his cheeks.
The corners of my mouth is what hurts. Everything else is okay.
Yeah, no, it's hitting the back of my throat and my soft palate.
I've never had milk that tasted so sweet in my life.
It's lactose free in case anybody is like me.
Yeah.
I think the problem with full auto comes down to SMGs. Because if you have a bunch of SMGs running around, they just light up a building. They're just running past it, and that's an issue.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah, I think
that stops that. Grenades.
when you play it for full auto, so like the way we have it balanced out at our field, I think makes it work.
Yeah.
What I don't get is what I think kills another thing that mentioned full auto that kills it is people with SMGs that go in building, you're like 5 feet in front of somebody and they still full auto.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no MED for them because they shoot at such a low joule rating.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's annoying, but
I don't necessarily have an issue with that. I'm one of the few people that thinks that LMGs shouldn't have an MED.
I mean, y'all are chugging that stuff.
Because I don't have a problem with LMGs at 1.5 joules full autoing somebody as long as they're not like hammering down on people. But you have to give a reason or a disadvantage for LMGs, so you give them an MED. You give SMGs no MED. So
Yeah, and we don't have like a whole lot of people like abusing it either. You know what I mean? Like, there's not. When we limit how many LMGs are allowed at the field, but like SMGs too, there's not like everybody's not running an SMG.
Well, they also have to run pistol caliber mags. So.
Yes.
correct.
It limits their capacity.
Yeah, so you can't just get a PDW and then think you're going to go full auto in there.
Yeah, you can't run like the Crytek PDW you have that still takes M4 mags.
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, I think as long as you, I mean, I don't necessarily feel like it breaks it because like even in real war, like our M4s had full auto. Well, I think some did. I can't remember if the ones that I ran, if they just had, I think they had burst.
Were yours A2s or A3s?
No, we ended up having the M4s.
Oh, so it would have been full auto then.
Yeah. I remember our old ones. I think it was A1s or something was what we had when I was in the Guard. And then, then when we went to Iraq, we had the M4s. Yeah, those had full auto on them, if I remember correctly.
I think not necessarily breaking airsoft, but I think it can be unfun for inexperienced players.
Yeah, if everybody, we had a full auto day. Like 5 people signed up for it.
Yeah, well, I get questions all the time, like when I'm doing chrono, and people are like, "Oh, I can't full auto," like they're newer, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of for your own safety. Like, if you were going to full auto somebody and they turn around with a LMG, like you're gonna hate yourself. But also at the same time, when we provide that full auto day that we advertised for a while, this was a year ago-ish.
Yeah.
We advertised it for a good bit, and no one really stayed for it. Like, it was just...
Well, we had Turf Wars too, though.
Correct.
Where you could buy the full auto band.
In the market, yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody seemed to still enjoy that when that happened. But
because it was tasteful.
It had to be something you had to earn, which means not everybody could just off the rip do it.
This is going to be... I don't know if this is a hot take, but like, full autos for players that are not experienced. More or less. Like you kind of have that gap where if you know how to move and shoot, I'll take standby all day. Like I'll take a Lancer Tactical in the knowledge how to move and shoot with a squad over one dude with an LMG that can lay down fire because you can move, you can bounce fire, there's so many different things you can do.
Well, and here's the thing, like it's airsoft, so we don't have the same issue like you would in real steel with actual recoil. Right?
Yeah.
So the difference between the power of the two is extreme because full auto, well, there's no recoil. I can just shoot in the same spot. Full auto, no negatives to it. What I think would be cool is if there was more limited mag capacity. Then that would make, I think, full auto for everybody a little bit more viable as a gameplay balancer. But since now you can buy EPM ones, they're like 250 rounds. Well, do I want somebody who's got an M4 hosing down an area with 250 rounds? I mean, even if that's 30 rounds a second, well, our limit's what, 25 rounds a second?
25, yeah.
So even that's 25 rounds a second, that's still a decent amount of time that they can hold that angle at full auto.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I think, you balance it with LMGs and SMGs. I think too many SMGs that are full auto causes an issue. I think too many LMGs stacked on one side can cause an issue. I mean, I've seen it before at some open plays where then we have to rebalance stuff because you got too many LMGs on one side or another.
It was like last week, 2 weeks ago when we were out at the field. You got one LMG on one side of Camp Victory. You hold down the center lane of Camp Victory pretty well. Like not a whole lot you can really do. You got to move and shoot.
Yep.
So.
And that's where the benefit of then, okay, do I have a DMR or sniper integrated into my squad? Because then he can move outside that range and hit that guy. Mm-hmm. So then it does come into the tactics that you're using or how you're playing them, but not every open player has, or even every team has a DMR or a sniper integrated into their unit.
Yeah, it seems like snipers are kind of not as popular as they used to be.
Well, they got real popular when Novrich did his whole thing.
It seems like that way. No, I mean, I got DMRs, but I'm never like in a position where I can fulfill that role for our team.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, we need more DMRs for the team. We only got Draco's really the only one that runs one.
Like I said, I'm never in a position where I can really fulfill that role if we go to an event or something. So,
What was your take? Anything to add?
I kind of already said what I had thoughts on. I think full auto. I would rather have a solid gun that shoots, like I can move and shoot with, than full auto, because I'm gonna run out of rounds. Because I love using ammo. Like if I could use it, like I just shoot constantly to cover corners, but move. I shoot while I move. Like I don't just walk around.
Yeah.
So it's like I'd rather have that capability of being able to get up close to somebody and be able to tap them than having to, I gotta stay 50 feet back. Or 75, 50. See, cards are helpful.
Yeah, for LMG.
LMG 50 feet.
That's what I thought. Yeah, DMR 75.
MMG is 75. HMG is 100 feet. Or no, HMG is 75 too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's useful in certain circumstances, but personally, I couldn't care for it. So, but LMGs are cool. They just are cool guns.
They seem to have a lot of problems.
I
with their
love
mags
I
and
love me a
stuff.
cool stoner, but yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on which one you get. I'll die on this hill that the G&P M249 is the best M249 ever made.
Because of its reliability.
Mm-hmm. I think the way that the hop unit and the way it feeds its box mag is just superior, because it feeds from the bottom as opposed to feeding from the side into the chamber. So I don't know.
Can't wait for Milo and Alex to get on here and have.
It's also a heavy
their
weight,
opinions.
so it's full weight.
Yeah, so it actually gives it's harder to
Which is
carry
another
an LMG.
thing about like LMGs. If you get into it, I think they should be real weight, because there should be a downside to
having one.
Yeah,
hoofing that thing.
I don't disagree.
Lightweights are for lightweights.
But the problem is that you get these people, they just buy stuff online, not knowing, and then trying to restrict them on something they bought, and then you got
lost
a person who can't enjoy your field.
Correct.
Lose a customer that
And
way.
that is the worst part of like that goes back to the business part of it, of like how do you balance certain things where you're bringing customers in, they're having a good time, but it's also good for the business, and you're establishing a set of rules that are mostly in line with the airsoft community as a whole. Because the last thing you want to do is be that one field where your rules are so far outside of what everybody else does that everybody gets confused every time they come to your field.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing, like, if you're holding a major event, you having somewhat stricter rules and stuff because you're looking for a certain LARPing aspect to...
Well, explosive sunset, or...
Yeah, which ours is pretty loose, though. As long as it's a tan and a green uniform,
Right.
it's fine. But, like, something else, like, maybe if you were to go to an MSW event where it was actually Russia versus NATO, or Russia versus USA, has to be a Russian kit or has to be a USA kit of some era or whatever, so, or if you're doing like Parker's, they did the Vietnam thing, wearing Vietnam kits for that era. It's just for the immersion and entertainment.
Well, I'm saying like
value.
for open plays, like in general, like
Yeah.
if somebody is like creating these off the wall, that's actually an issue I think with like chronoing rules, because we're one of the few fields here in Ohio that chrono with joules.
Yeah.
So it's like when other people come to our field, like, well, what's the difference? Well, it's similar to what you guys are used to, but we're chronoing with a heavier weight BB, and we're telling you the joules because that applies more to the actual impact as opposed to the FPS.
The one thing I really hate is some fields when they chrono with .2s. Like, it doesn't cost much more to do .3s so that you can help avoid the joule creep and everything else. You're talking about each BB is like 0.0001 cent.
I can get why some fields might do it with like indoor fields. It's not that big of a deal if you're...
Well, they have a maximum like 1.1 in there.
Right, and
So that's
their
fine.
maximum BB weight is 3s. Like at MK, his maximum BB weight is like 3s. So you're not really going to be able to joule creep
Yeah.
a crazy amount.
Yeah, that's a
if you're
different
running
story, yeah.
3s. But like for us, out of my gas blowback, I'm running .48s most of the time, or .46s. So, and I have an impasse nozzle, so it's like you kind of need to check to make sure that I'm not all of a sudden shooting you with 2 joules worth of something point blank.
Yeah.
Of heavy.
Yeah, of like a heavy weight BB. So.
Yeah. We have Gabe on here. You get Gabe on here.
I plan to bring
That'd be cool.
other owners on because I think it's great. Even because like I said, I'm not here to kind of gate hold anything. I don't care if people know that MK exists or Pike County exists or whatever. Like I see it as all one big community, and
You get Gabe, you get Larry, you get Tim.
except for that one. But yeah, I'm definitely open to having anybody and everybody. Like I was thinking about even getting some the bigger YouTubers or whatever from Ohio that do airsoft on here and stuff too. So just be, celebrate those that are doing great. You know what I mean? That are helping improve in any form or fashion. What are you doing over there? More surprises for the camera?
No, I'm reading his mind right now.
Oh. Yeah.
We're G2. We all have one mind, remember? It's symbiosis.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah, I know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
We joined the cult.
What's the next question you got on there, Bucko? Are you sure we have to do 2 more?
Yep.
Oh, the sweat dripped
What's
down
wrong?
my balls.
Well, that last one hurt. I'm already feeling it in my stomach.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm needing another water. Hey, slave.
Hey, can you bring up some more milk?
Here.
Can you bring up some more milk too, please? Bring the whole gallon up.
I'm gonna start charging by the minute.
You're still a prospect. You're still listening.
I'm only charging you. You're a jackass. Darren and Trevor are fine. They ain't messing with me yet.
Yeah.
They laughed, so. Don't hit the
How many
camera.
waters are you gonna go through, my guy?
A lot, man.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Why are you taking my milk away?
I'm gonna get you more milk.
Bring the whole gallon up here.
Oh,
Well, don't do that. I'm fine with this amount of milk.
Bring
you
the
guys will probably run through that.
bring the
It's
gallon
not
up.
even a gallon. It's a half.
Okay, whatever. Bring it up here.
Marines.
All right. So we will go with the last one. What are you looking forward at our field?
Why is he...
Those dogs hate him. That dog.
No, it's just Maggie. Anybody that's new, she just barks at him, regardless. So what are you guys looking forward to? That's that you got hopes for, high expectations for?
I know what I'm looking forward to.
What's that?
Our new game modes.
Our new game mode. Yeah, you want to?
Are we
Talk
allowed
about
to
it?
elaborate on that?
Yeah,
at
because
all?
we're gonna. I think
By the time this is out.
yeah. By the time this is out, it's probably would have already done the event. Because we got Steve Ricks coming out here soon, and that's a full month worth of shit. So that's all of March.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, this won't be out for a while.
Yeah, this will be out.
We might be dead by now, so you know.
This will be out in April. So
So the game mode that you guys might be playing right now, our extraction shooter, G2 Tactical's
I
Battleground.
hold the milk.
So
I can now mess with bloopers.
He came back with the milk, ladies and
all
gentlemen.
right, sit down, lactose.
I hope the mic picks that up.
Holy smokes!
This
I didn't do that.
This sauce is not that bad.
that one's not.
No.
So we got them swapped around, maybe.
Yeah, that one's perfectly fine.
That might have been my bad. I was the one that put them there.
I was waiting for you to put this one at the beginning.
What was the question again? Oh yeah, about what we're
Upcoming, we're looking forward
so our extraction game mode. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. There's some fields that have tried it, and I guess have decent success. That one in Wisconsin that we've seen.
Yep.
But this one It's going to be a little bit different. It's more LARPy, I think, in the aspect of kind of choose your own adventure type of thing. So we're going to have multiple zones that you can go into at different times and come out with different levels of loot to then be able to purchase upgrades for your own self or for your own squad. So it's going to be very squad oriented on some of it, very exploration oriented.
What's the squad size?
I think
Maximum
we're
4.
yeah. So, it's going to be a limited amount of people in certain areas, but you're going to have, like, if you've ever played Tarkov or ABI, the scavs.
Yep.
So players are going to fulfill those roles. You'll have bosses.
I think the greatest thing about what we're trying to do, though, is you can choose how much downtime you have.
Right.
So, like, after you complete one zone, you can choose to either go into another zone or just hang around for a bit if you need a rest. And then we have the game master who's going to orchestrate matchmaking, basically.
Yep.
But if you're done with one zone and you want to come back in right away into another one, and they're not completed yet with the player base for that, you can go in as a scav. As long as it's within that time limit, I think of 10 to 20 minutes. So there's like a 10-minute window there for each zone where additional scavs can come in. Otherwise, you just got to wait the 10 minutes. So there shouldn't be a whole lot of downtime unless you want the downtime.
Yeah. Well, and since it's not going to be just all of the field lumped in, we're going to have specific zones carved out and boundaries for those zones.
Yeah, I think one zone was Dead Man's Land and Dunmore Labs together. That was one.
We could probably throw the graphic up here of the map.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to remember to do that.
Okay. Make a note of it.
If not, just cut this out.
I'll just throw up a completely irrelevant photo.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think it'll be really a new experience that I've not personally taken a part in or seen advertised around that people are doing.
Take all of it.
So it's different from other Tarkov-esque extraction style game modes. So we'll see how the community likes it. I think it'll be fun. People really enjoyed our Turf Wars, and that was something that was kind of different from what some other people were doing. So
We've only ran that event once, have we?
we've ran it twice.
We did a demo and
We
then
did
the
the
actual
demos.
event.
Yeah, so we ran a couple demos, and then
Yeah, and it worked out really well both times. Even some of the Milsim players that played in Turf Wars said they had a really great time.
they're not their normal type of game, but they enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's because you got to choose how much action you wanted to be in.
Yeah.
And I think that's the greatest thing is giving them the choice. Instead of like, normally like we bring them down there and we keep them playing for like 2 hours. Not everybody can hang for 2 hours and play, Some of them get tuckered out right away or whatever. But
America,
now they can,
free will.
Yeah, they can choose to sit on the sidelines and
Well, and that's
bullshit
what'll
with the
be
people or whatever.
That's what'll be interesting, I think, about that specific event.
And we'll have actually staging area down there on the field, so they don't have to come back up top. What else? Oh, and we'll bring food down there too for them.
Buy that, get that at the market.
Yeah, we'll just probably do like hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever, something that's easy.
Usually work well.
Yeah, we'll just cook them up top and bring them down. Anything you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to getting media stuff going again. I'm looking forward to getting some good footage at especially events. That'll be good. Get some good drone footage, some good just playing the action. So yeah, I just want to see where that goes this year. See how well we do. So yeah, just see how well podcast does. See how well YouTube does.
Yeah.
Instagram, all that.
A lot of stuff is just like waiting to see kind of like how is this going to play out.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting our Middle Eastern buildings done.
Oh yeah,
That'll be sweet.
We have enough material left over from last year to build one more building. But I'm thinking we might be able to get that whole Middle Eastern thing done this year with the amount of money we could potentially make.
Okay.
And then also we got the generator.
oh yeah.
in our big ass batteries.
Just saw the batteries downstairs. They are not small.
No, they're 5,000 watts a piece.
And how many do we have?
4.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to get a refrigerator and a freezer and stuff, so we can try to make...
And cameras.
Yeah, we'll get cameras and stuff out there too. So we're trying to make the administrative part of everything as easy as possible so we can focus on the other stuff better and more. So making the lives of our mundane tasks, taking those away, frees up a lot of our time for other stuff. So every week I don't have to go out shopping for everything. I can go out shopping 1 week for the whole month or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead of every weekend.
No, it'll make things less stressful, a little bit easier to accomplish. And
Yeah.
give us more time to kind of prep for the day of like, you know, how we want stuff done for our players and all this
Yeah.
and that. So,
Yeah, it'd be great to not have to live out of those coolers anymore to serve drinks.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And every time they're like, well, what do you got? Well, the refrigerator we're going to get is going to have a see-through door on it, so you'll be able to see what's there, you know, and maybe help cut down some time with people standing in line and getting
Well,
checked out.
not to
and
mention,
stuff.
like, a lot of our pack-up procedure requires us to either empty out the coolers of water or refill everything in those coolers.
Put away the
or
generator.
Put away the generator.
Put that away.
Yeah,
all
the
that.
cool thing about the generator thing is supposedly the inverter I'm going to get has the ability to turn on the generator by itself.
Oh, wow.
Turn it on and off.
On like a schedule?
So it's going to monitor the batteries, and then I can program it so like if it hits 20%, it kicks the generator back on and recharges the batteries.
Getting bougie, baby.
So
Right.
then you don't have to go out there and turn the generator off
Correct.
or anything.
Or I had to go out there or something. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I bought 20 kilowatts, thinking like that should cover us for the 2 weeks of the fridge and freezer just sitting there. But at the same time, like I'd rather that generator not be running the entire time while we're also out there.
It's probably gonna be loud.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
I got to order a couple parts for it because it is a used generator, but it does 37,000 watts, so should quickly charge those batteries.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we end up needing more batteries too, yeah, we'll buy some more. I mean, they're not super expensive, and the amount of money that we're saving by not having to go buy ice all the time pays for half of a battery a year. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, because ice is not cheap.
Well, whatever you do, when you get it set up, don't let Trevor touch any receptacles. He'll probably break
Don't let me plug and unplug things.
Oh, and I finally got a receptacle plate for that switch.
Oh, did you?
For the light switch. I kept forgetting about it. It's been like a year.
Yeah.
But it's down in the box for the stuff I got to bring out.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm excited to get the Crydex stuff in.
Yep.
Yeah. What vendors did we pick up at SHOT Show?
So far, right now, we've picked up Crydex and Ironclad, which I'm still working on. Ironclad does like a bunch of gloves, and it seemed like they're fairly well priced, but they're really great quality. You can try them on and stuff. So we got that. We're going to probably do Ace Beam lights, but I'm on the fence with that right now because I don't know if there's really much of like a market for lights, and I don't want to spend $1,000 on lights and we sit on them for 10 years, you know. So
Do we pick up any optics or anything like that?
so we got that. What's that one group? Monstrum.
Monstrum, yeah.
We'll be getting some stuff from them.
For all you people that keep asking why we don't have optics in the shop, we're working on it.
We're on it. It just takes time and money, and I don't want to take out a loan to be able to do this stuff, and then now we're stuck making these payments or whatever. So we're doing everything as we got the money for it. So
I like it. I will.
yeah, and the main thing too is like it was going to cost like 10 grand or whatever to have power ran out to our building, but the thing is like we would have to pay for that, and if we have to leave that field someday, we wouldn't be able to take it with us. That's like 10 grand that we lost. Whereas with the generator and stuff, if we ever have to pick up and move again, we can take it all with us. Even the shop, we can pick it up and take it. Anything else you guys are excited for? I'm excited for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff at this point. Like, what am
Just
I not
having more
excited
time to
for?
go play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Ooh.
one thing with our scheduling.
Next question. What events are we going to this year, Blooper? I don't know.
So there's been some stuff proposed, like pressure cooker. some stuff with Gun Gamer event. So it's just more of just kind of getting everybody's schedule lined down.
Going to Bristol, right?
We will be going to Bristol at some point this year. I think we normally make that like a later in the year type of thing.
That's what we did last year.
Yeah, I really feel like, I want to go to Pressure Cooker, but it's on the same weekend that we're open.
Yeah.
I really think we shouldn't do that. Because I know it's like, we could just move the day we're open, but I really like keeping that consistency for the people.
I agree, and that's kind of why I said, like, all right, if we have enough guys that could staff our field that weekend, then that's fine. Whatever other guys want to go up to Pressure Cooker, they can go.
As long as we got enough people to run the field.
So it's just more of just figuring that out, which I got to figure that out. I got to get on the ball with that. So, because I know, like, Milo, I think, was wanting to go up there. You, I think, were saying
I think
you
it'd be
wanted
great to go. Yeah.
So, as long as one of us, I can stay and run the field, or somebody can do that, however we want to do it. But anyway, that's not for you guys to really care about.
Yeah.
Or you could and be just like happy for us.
Yeah, just be happy for us.
I'm excited to get our kits going that we've been discussing.
I think we keep that a secret until we unveil it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I guess
They're going to come out as Kermit the Frog.
I guess by the time this video comes out, we'll have already been wearing our kit, haven't we?
Should be, yeah.
So
this will probably be out in April. So
our frogmen of kits.
Yeah, our frogmen of kits. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun because we just get to play as characters. Kind of spruce things up instead of being the same plain Jane.
I'm gonna do the GWAT era Marine Corps kit for ES.
Why are you doing a gross kit?
What do you mean? These kits are badass.
Well, I was saying that because it's a Marine kit. You could have been somebody cool, like Army.
Sorry, mister. I would have joined, but...
I served imaginary.
Listen,
that's why he does airsoft.
I did one tour at Brushy Mountain and a handful of tours there at I-70. So pretty good.
I-70 really is
that's more tours than he's done.
Equine therapy he's got every other Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. We could tell all of our players.
Beep!
Yeah, bleep this out. He likes to stroke horses.
My mom's watching this.
Oh, oops. Sorry,
Does she
Trevor.
watch these?
Not yet. She's probably going to watch this one.
Oh, crap. Okay. I'll
right.
have to censor out some stuff.
Yeah, censor out everything.
Oh, well. She'll just know who you guys are.
Trevor's mom. Me and Trevor kiss.
You keep that in. Please keep that in.
Dude, I posted your video of kissing the camera.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like shot up in views and stuff.
Well, people find me sexy.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right, well, we got one last hot sauce.
My body.
No, we're out of questions. What are you talking
questions.
about?
I got one more question
All right.
for you.
No, we can
Time
save
to
that one for
leave.
next time. We can save it for next time.
No.
You don't get out of this one.
I'm already flipping dying.
I'm actually doing okay.
Yeah, you should be all right.
Do we put the flipping counter on there for Marmar so you can hear how many times I say flipping?
I actually kind of wonder if that Reaper one is worse than that one, but I don't know.
This is the one we had last time, right?
Yeah. Gotta do it like me.
No, I'm not doing
Shot,
it like
shot.
What is that?
That's a.
Oh, crap.
That's 2 drops.
It's.
That's a lot for him. What are you talking about?
Listen, my stomach is already looking at my eyeballs and going, "You idiot!"
He's ripping his apart and dipping.
Yeah, I am.
It just won't stop coming out. All right, so the last question is, how do you like it? How do you like this hot sauce?
Terrible.
Is it worse than the Reaper?
I don't know. I haven't had it yet.
Try it. The Reaper one's pretty bad though. And I just did like a little bit dab, and I already feel like I'm exploding.
The anticipation.
it hits afterwards. Like, it takes a moment. It builds and then it hits. We didn't have ice cream for this one, did we? Unlucky moment. Sucks to be
I can't. Oh, there we go. I can't have ice cream, so. Oh my gosh.
It's building up.
Trevor's got the hiccups now.
My stomach's trying to throw it back up.
All right, well. How do you like the hot sauce? I don't like the last one. Actually, I don't like the Reaper one either. Even though
That Reaper was bad.
It's got a good flavor, but the thing's hot.
I think that one's equally as bad. Oh my god, that cooks.
Yeah, it does.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Any questions you have for us? He's just enjoying it over here.
Just taking mental minutes well stayed.
Fuck, that is stupid.
I guess for our last thing of the podcast, we should probably go over why Percy isn't getting patched in.
All right.
Because he's a former Marine.
You good, Darren?
Nope.
Nope.
He did this last time. You should have just done a dab like I did.
How much did you do?
A lot? Like he always does.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, go big or go home.
He goes overboard.
But
Trevor's dying.
I'm actually doing okay.
So make the announcement on our event following April.
yeah, so our next event's coming up. After this will be posted. May 31st will be Turf Wars. August 30th will be White Rhino. Fuck my life.
You can take a minute and do this in a minute.
Keep going.
We have Black Market April 5th.
Remember, the black markets are open plays are free those days.
And September 6th. They're free.
I think the community really enjoyed our last black market where we made it free open play.
Yeah. We do like a free open play. I believe it's from 2 to 5.
Yeah.
Where's that? And it's community day, so we'll basically have open black market all day long.
Yeah.
Till dark. Fuck, that burns.
Yeah, it does.
1,000 razor blades
Yeah, it does.
on my tongue.
Yeah, it does.
Reaper just hurts.
Now you're going to have weird dreams again.
I'll be working for Kanye West on the plantation next time.
Day's never finished. Master got me working.
Yeah, Kanye's gonna be out there working.
Okay.
Did you see his Twitter account got deleted?
Oh yeah.
Man, that stuff he's been posting is wild.
Did you see that him and his wife are apparently getting a divorce?
Yeah.
Someone's like, Pete Davidson has the opportunity to do the funniest thing right now.
Wasn't his wife the one that showed up in the pantyhose dress or whatever?
I think so.
Not what dress. What dress are you talking about?
Yeah, it was not a dress. It was just a...
I thought we're recording
Skin
this and not
compressor.
airing any of this right here.
No, we are.
Welcome to the Kanye West Airsoft show.
Yeah. Well, anyway. That's all we got. Oh, wait.
I guess not.
So I did notice a lot of people that watch this aren't subscribed. So subscribe. Dang it. That's all we got now. So we'll see you next time.
Hasta luego.
I believe next one we're going to have you, Gavin, one.
Yep, make Midget Man come.
Wimpy